and crazy and irrational. And then I actually had kids, and the whole world changed. It's unfathomable. I couldn't even imagine, like you said. I mean, chopping off an arm would be at a minimum to take care of my kids. So, yeah, I mean, I think what really keeps me up at night on this one is the overall, like, it's not just one family here that we're talking about, right? Like, this is an issue that is, obviously worldwide, but we're talking about Americans.
I was going to say it's global because you've got like, there's guys that are listening in the audience, regardless of where you are in the world. We're obviously focusing on America, but this is something that we can all do, because it's not just American. It's not just in America that it's affecting. It's England, India, everywhere. This horrible, nasty disease, which Michael's going to go into a little bit more. The cost. I was literally in tears last night when I heard the cost, because I'm classed as that family where we're like middle class, so we're not too poor to get the benefits for getting things for free, but we're earning just that little bit much, so we can't get the help which we really need. And when I obviously had this near life and death situation, I was like, oh my God, what would I do in that situation? And it's just unfathomable. So Michael's going to elaborate on what I'm on about and what he shared with me last night, and I was literally like, what can I do to help? And those that are in the audience, as was said before, we're not here for monetary things, that can come in a later date. We're actually here to, and I'm going to let Michael take over from here, we're actually here to get this up to the powers that be, so we can help these families get the support and get the money that is needed, so they don't have to do drastic measures, which Michael's going to talk to you about in now. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you, Michael, so you can obviously let everybody know why we are here for this most important cause. And while I'm here, guys, as I said, this really resonated with my heart. It really literally drew me in. I was like in tears, because I thought, even what I've been through is insignificant for what that family, or families, should I say, are going through on a daily basis. Yourself, just close your eyes now, and once you've heard what Michael says, if you can really imagine, you've got children, you've got grandchildren, what will go through your head? What would you want to do? How can you help? And just really resonate with what Michael's going to say to you now, guys, because literally it touched me so much in the heart, because I've got two beautiful children, and I just thought, oh my God. And I just said, listen, I can offer my voice, I can offer my services at Magic, whatever you need for me to help you, I will do. So I'm going to hand the mic over to Michael, because this is an amazing thing, an amazing opportunity for us all to be here and make a difference right now. At this very point, we are all going to collaborate and change the actual world. I know that might sound far-fetched, but literally, if we all band together, we can do this. I'm going to hand the mic over to Michael. Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate you all. You're all here in this room for a reason. You're all amazing souls. I look forward to helping you all. So thank you very much for my time. I'm going to hand it over to Michael.
Thanks, David. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll be posting a link up top here momentarily, so we can go and show you how you guys can actually make an effort and affect change. This isn't something that where it's just a rah. We're going to talk about it. There's actual action that every single one of us can do today to help these families. And I'm going to tell you a little story about why. Right. So my friend Alexa, you see up there, she has two boys that have a disease called PKU. It is a metabolic disorder where they have a restriction on protein. If they have too much protein, it turns into a neurotoxin and causes permanent brain damage. So the nationwide formula shortage has put a magnifying glass on those who need medical grade formula. And this isn't just, to replace breast milk for these kids. This is a lifelong formula that they're going to have so they can get the other nutrition they need, so that they can actually survive for their whole life, right? This is just a starting point as children. So for Alexa, if she was to pay for it out of pocket, which insurance companies are not required as of right now to cover it after age 1, she's just over $6,000 a month to make sure that her children have the basic necessities to survive without brain damage. So there's 16,000 families across the country that have various metabolic disorders. And if you just having 2 small children was $6,000 a month, those families combined are paying about $1.15 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B. So that's
Michael. What would it be for each individual family? So how much does that equate to that Alexa and everybody else has got to pay by themselves?
She's paying $6,000, just over $6,000 a month, which would turn out to be $72,000 a year. And Alexa's husband is a teacher, makes just under $90,000. She makes about 15 from her online business. So imagine that if insurance did not cover it, you take $100,000 and you take 72 of it just to pay for the basic food for 2 of your 3 kids. Think about that for a second. You're not in a place where the government wants to help you because you're not poor enough, but yet you're taking 72% of your income, and obviously that's pre-tax income, to pay to put food in the bellies of your kids so they don't get brain damage. Okay, so across all the families, we're talking over $1 billion, and that's just for them being kids. Like I said, this is a lifelong disease, and they obviously as kids, as all of us have kids, we know as they grow, they start to eat us out of house and home. So the same thing happens is, the kids with PKU and other metabolic disorders, that doesn't change. They still need their caloric intake. They still need, the sustenance for growing bodies and brains and everything. So the cost only gets more expensive as they go. For an infant, it's about $2,500 per month. For a full-grown person, an adult, it's $25,000 a month. So if all of these 16,000 families, right, become, as when they all become grown-ups, if there was 16,000 people, that's $4.8 billion per year as a whole that they would have to pay. Now, what we're asking today, right, if you click on the link above, there's a way to contact your congressmen and your senators. There's a bill going in, being revisited this week, that has failed for 12 years. And it's Medical Nutrition Equality Act. Okay. It would make a federal mandate that insurance companies would have to cover the cost of this medically necessary food for the different metabolic disorders.
And Michael, I just want to add in there, basically, guys, those that are in the UK and in foreign countries, just because Michael's mentioned about clicking the link, which is to your senator, we can actually write to our local councillors or local, mayor or PM or whatever there is, because basically, as I say, it's not just in America, it's a worldwide thing. It's a very rare disease, so we can get exactly the same things in our country or your country. So I just want people to not be put off by the fact that, it's just in America. It's not, guys. This is a worldwide thing. That's why I actually invited quite a few of my friends in here, because you can do your bit by just writing to your local councillor to say, can we do this so we can make a difference in our countries as well as, America. So I just wanted to add that in there. So
I want to build with you, David, because today is the first day of opening a window to let some air in. We have an organization. We have a board of trustees that's literally solidifying in this very date. Mark your calendar, because today and tomorrow and the day after that, inside of the next couple of weeks, you're going to see the evolution of not just a bunch of people that love each other that jumped into a community on Clubhouse. You're going to see an organization, a global organization's weight behind this effort. We're not here to just shake the ground. We're going to knock the glass out the Capitol the right way. We're going right up there and knock on the door. We're not watching babies and families contemplate divorce to try to stay alive. That's not why we're here. We're here to change it. We don't start it, but we're going to finish it. And it takes a village, it's going to take many villages. I just want to put an accent, an exclamation point on the fact that I want to thank everybody that can hear my voice right now, because you just came because you care. Today's opening that window, and you're going to see everything to make it easy to, in your country, wherever you are on this planet, we're going to make it easy for you to push that button. Back to you guys.
Yeah. I mean, and so most people, right? Okay, we're talking about billions of dollars a year that families are spending, and we're talking about passing a bill in Congress. Well, most people say, well, is that going to, add those billions of dollars to our national deficit? Well, the actual CBO analysis, the Congressional Budget Office, they figured out that it would have cost Americans only $132 million a year to make this happen, to make the insurance companies, right, pay for this food for the families. Okay. So at the current state, that would be an 88.5% savings, right? Just in dollar amount. But it would take 100% of the cost off of the families, like Alexa and her kids. All right. For the grown-ups, it would, the difference in amount is 97%, right? Again, the families would be saving that whole amount, but the government would only have to pay 2.75% of the total what the families are paying right now. So if that doesn't scream effectiveness, I don't know what does. So in order to take the cost off the families and only spend a fraction of that, a very small fraction of that as a taxpayer, I'd be willing to. That amount of money is just a little bit more than one of the jets that I work on. So, I mean, if we can spend a bunch of money on that kind of stuff, I'm sure for the cost of, 1.5 jets, we can take care of 16,000 plus families in America. This has been an ache point for myself for a while. The formula shortage just, like I said, put us under a microscope here. But when Alexa and I and Laura go way back to her college days, and it really hurt my heart that the middle class is getting forgotten. And it's such a big deal. So we've been thinking about doing something like this for a while. But when you're called to a purpose, you're thrust into the spotlight for a while. You better be ready. And thankfully, we've had an amazing team of people step up around us. Alexa has been the face of it, going on all the different news and magazines and everything. This is something near and dear to me and my wife's heart, and this foundation that we're starting has been a brainchild of ours for at least over a year and a half now. And we really didn't think this was going to happen for a while, and thanks to the other trustees that we're going to talk about later, this is getting off the ground a lot sooner than we thought, to be able to have a real impact, just to be able to spread the awareness. And if we can solve this and get this bill passed for the metabolic illnesses, we'll find out the next thing that's hurting middle America medically, and go after that, because middle America should not be forgotten. And you shouldn't have to, like we said, get divorced to be a single mother of 3 below the poverty line to get the necessities to feed your children. To me, that's unacceptable in the developed world. And again, that's not just America, right? I could not fathom that.
I was just going to say as well now. I don't know is I want you to really, because as I said, guys, I was literally in bits, and obviously we'll probably be coming to Alexa obviously in a little bit to hear what it's like for her as a parent going through things. But because I've got my own children, and those of you that have got your own children or are thinking of having children or have got grandchildren, I couldn't help but be moved by the fact that I am technically classed as middle class, and the fact that my children have fortunately been born without this disease, which I couldn't get my head around of how I would begin to raise that sort of money. I want us all to just understand that in this room right now, on this very date, at this very time, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper somewhere. because this is the day that we change everything for those families. And for those of you that think we can't, trust me, we are going to. You know, because as I said, when I heard the story, I was just like, you know, I'm pretty sure most of you are speechless. The fact that, you know, if somebody said, well, you need, basically, it's like the equivalent of somebody saying, well, give me 72 grand a year or I'm going to kill your kid, is basically what that's basically it. Because, you know, you're going to have to talk about getting the divorce to care for your kids when you're in love with each other. I just can't get my head around that. I couldn't get my head around how I'd be able to do that. So, guys, in this room right now, I thank everybody for coming up on stage. I thank everybody, all my friends on Clubhouse who've come in to support this room. But remember, guys, we are going to make the difference in this room today. So I want you to mark this time in the UK, it's 22:27, and the date, and just make sure that you were in this room, and this was the room that made the difference to all those families' lives. I'm just going to hand the mic back to you, Mike.
So while David was talking, I went through the comments. I need to make something abundantly clear. This is not solved by a normal alternative formula, right? This isn't, you know, you see it on the news, right? The Air Force is moving formula from one place to another. We're getting formula possibly shipped in from overseas and this and that. No, this is a extremely specialized medical formula to ensure that these children and these some adults, right, that have this as well, do not get brain damage from ingesting too much protein. So this is not a you know, go find some, you know, naturopathic cure or mix some stuff and do goat's milk and mix things together to supplement. No, this is strictly a medically necessary formula. Trust me, if Alexa knew that she could take out a mortar and pestle and you know, do some stuff, it would be she'd be doing it already. So yeah, I saw some people just want to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So it's amazing. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to my beautiful wife and let the other side of this story take shape. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for muting yourself as well. So to relay this out. So yes, Alexa's my sorority sister. Yes, I've known her for over a decade. Yes, we're both mompreneurs. Yes, we're both have beautiful children. But we also have another thing in common. So we mentioned PKU, which is a lifelong disease disorder. It's an inborn metabolic disorder. It's genetic. They did not realize that happened, that they were carriers when Taylor was born. They were able to do testing and they realized they were carriers, and they knew that Jax had it beforehand. So they have a 20-month-old and a 6-month-old that have PKU. 2 children. And they are at a constant battle with their insurance company, who does not, because the way their insurance company is set up, it's privately funded. They do not have to follow any state mandates. The only type of mandate they have to follow is a federal mandate. They're in constant negotiation and battles to cover the insurance after age 1, cover the formula after age 1. Now, to bring in a little bit of a different story, my daughter has a rare disease. She grew out of hers, luckily. She also is a zebra. And the disease that she has and grew out of is called FPIES, food protein induced enterocolitis syndrome. It's a mouthful. This is another one of the diseases and disorders that are affected by the Medical Nutrition Equity Act. There is no way to test for FPIES other than you accidentally feed your child something that's absolutely delicious and they go into septic shock because you fed them something that you had no idea would trigger a devastating reaction that there is no medication for. There is no treatment for, except for take them to the hospital and put them on an IV and hope they recover. The population of individuals that suffer from FPIES, some of them have many triggers. We were blessed that Evelyn only had one trigger, but some of them have many across the board different triggers, and they have to also be on this medical formula. That community is being directly affected. I am still very connected with my zebra community. That is what they call rare diseases and rare disorders. Those individuals that are fighting to have their voices heard, they are the zebras. The downside to the zebras is that we do not have a big enough herd. And that's why we are here talking to the MomLink community, to the Clubhouse community, both here in North America and across the world, is that we need to join the herd. Because there are other rare disorders, digestive and metabolic diseases that you may know, like Crohn's and other pancreatic disorders and things like that, that are directly affected by this formula shortage, directly affected by not having affordable access to foods that will keep them safe and healthy. It is so important to not require them to have surgery and procedures to get a G tube or an NG tube, and then it will be covered maybe if they have one of these asterisk disorders and it's maybe bad enough. They need to be required and mandated to do this. It also will allow a solution to some of the supply chain because of the mandate for this coverage. It's not going to fix what Alexa is facing in real life right now. Right now, Alexa, along with the entire metabolic and rare digestive disorders community, are facing weeks and days left of their supply. Weeks and days. And if they start changing over to maybe one of the other alternative brands, and that individual, that baby doesn't like the flavor, because we all know how picky our children can be when it comes to eating, and especially with formula. I mean, if you breastfed also, sometimes if you ate the wrong thing, they refuse to nurse. When you switch the formula, it's a very slow process. But if they do not eat enough of the medical food in the PKU world, think of when your body goes into starvation, it starts eating itself. Children will start poisoning themselves because they're not getting enough of their caloric needs met. So not only are you balancing, making sure they have this formula, we're also balancing, making sure they actually take in the right amount, and that you're not worried about them potentially poisoning themselves at the same time. It's a balancing act that is frightening. The stakes are so high that it's unreasonable. It shouldn't be like this. If you have had a child or known a child that simply had a food allergy, or if you've had a food allergy and you just need to avoid one food and have an EpiPen on hand, that was hard. It's hard, especially in society. People like to joke about food allergies. But can you imagine if you literally could only eat 2 grams of protein a day, and the main source was a medical grade food that you can't afford? Else you just suffer brain damage? That's unacceptable, unfathomable. And many of you may not have known about this, but now you do. And now you have the opportunity to join the herd, to make thunderous noise with our herd going fast and making change real. Please take action. There's ways on the 10K card, and thank you so much, 10K, for creating this card for us. You can go to the 10K card and you can tweet at your senator and representative, because Twitter is a big thing these days. You can tweet at them over and over again, and you can write them a preloaded letter.
Laura, this this may be an excellent opportunity for Sean to share with us what the generosity that he showed me as we had a conversation early this morning in space on Clubhouse here. And if you don't know Sean, I don't know where you've been. This is a gentleman that is not only an entrepreneur, he's not only a business person, but he is, if he's not a man of God, I don't know who is. And that is from the way that he moves through the world, not because he's trying to hit you over the head with a book somewhere. I'm in New York City, and as you might know, capital of the world's a little loud, so I apologize for the sirens in the background there. But I wanted to turn to Sean, Laura, if we might here, and start to expand on this process, this meeting, this village it's going to take. And Sean, in everything that he does, when I just opened my mic today and I just hit him on a quick back channel, he had us set up with a tool that he has designed, created, and has been spreading to from a business perspective to people in all different genres that you could even think of. He doesn't need me to speak for him. Sean, if you're there, give me a little flash. I'd love you to share a little bit about what makes you tick, my friend, why you come to this space. This morning you shared about how, and I hope there's some of that still left for us, some of that juice you gave this morning, brother, when you talked about how you show up and why you show up and what's in your heart. I'd love to pass it over to you, Sean. If you can just jump right in here and share with us what's on your heart today.
Eric, when we meet my wife, the question they often ask her is he always like this? And her response is, until he falls asleep. So,
my man.
as much as I'd like to be energetic on this one, guys, it's a serious topic that we're discussing here. And I just want to reassure everyone here on stage and in the audience. We don't have a resource problem. We have a connection challenge. I'm going to say this again nice and slowly, guys. I want you guys to catch it. We don't have a resource problem. We have a connection challenge. The reason I say we have a connection challenge, we're all a few handshakes away from someone that can solve a problem. We're all a few steps away from connecting with someone who can make the right introduction to us. That's number one. Number two, I do believe whenever we're networking, wherever we go, however we do show up as your authentic self. You have no idea who's going to be in the environment and who is connected to your cause. Because you see, here's the thing. Some of us can gain as much income as we want. We can gain all the financial success, all the financial wealth that we want. But we may have had a family that our resources was not able to help in time. But then we're gonna listen to be a part of someone else's story. We're gonna hear someone else's story that will basically resonate with us at a point where we might be in the position to help that individual with what they're going through. And that might be our way of saying, I could not have done it for a loved one, but I can do it for you. So it doesn't matter what the crisis that's taking place, guys. I promise you, if you stay optimistic that there is a solution out there, you are gonna find it. Now, I'm not sure what challenges we're going through right now on stage, but here's what I can promise you. This stage is full with a bunch of dynamic movers and shakers. This stage is filled of individual that is connected to family and values. And whatever the challenges are, we're gonna find a way to figure it out. Because if they can't get the connection through Eric, they're gonna tap in with Gina. If they can't get it with Gina, they're gonna tap into Laura. If Michael want to connect with Laura, but he doesn't have a direct relationship with Laura, guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna tap in with Eric. So what I want to challenge everyone on stage to do is to let us start thinking how we can start leveraging our relationships to get the results that we're looking for. After the stage, Eric, you're going to thoroughly educate me as to what this challenge is. You're going to let me know what institutions
Believe
and what
that, my
authorities are
friend.
involved.
Yes, sir. Believe it. Believe it.
Yep. You're going to let me know exactly what authorities are involved, and then I will use our technology to see what gifts we can offer to the right institutions to start making this connection happen. And when you click on the link at the top, I heard a very, very simple ask. The ask was tap on the link at the bottom, tap on the 10K card, guys. And when you hit on the button that says get involved, it's as simple as sending your representative a letter. Writing your concerns, going on social media. I see they have only Twitter. Twitter is fine, but I would say go across all social media platforms because social media has become one of those things that will literally get your message out there super, super fast. And the good thing about it, Once that post is compelling enough, all the right individuals have to do is just to reshare, repost. And when that is out into the universe that often, you know what's going to happen? The people who need to be contacted will be contacted, guys. So again, I get back to this. We don't have a resource problem. We have a making the connection challenge. And the reason I say challenge because all challenges are created to be overcome. So let us bond together. Let us see what we can do from our individual camp and see what we can do to actually help with this. I have five beautiful kids, guys, and my youngest is 2 years old, and I know how important it was when she was developing for her to have all her nutrients. So my heart goes out to every parent out there that's not being privy to the very basic thing that we once considered to be basic. The fact that they're not privy to that is very heartbreaking. So let's see what we can do as a community to come together and start actually making some noise where this is concerned. Eric, you'll get in touch with me. Out of respect, I created a card for Alexa and for Michael. I'll send it to you shortly. You have one for Laura. I know my girl Gina have hers already, but one of my strategy when I come to her is to make sure we take care of the top level. Because if we can make a small contribution that's going to push the needle forward, that's what I'm interested in doing. So I'm at your disposal here, Michael. Let me know how I can show up. Michael, such a pleasure. Alexa, such a pleasure being here. Laurie, Gina, we have to hop on a phone call. And all the other mods and speakers on stage, I want to sing laughing to you guys and shout out to everyone in the audience. Whatever we can do to spread the message. And you know what, guys? We can start by sharing this room, this current room that we're in. Let's share it in the hallway. Do a screenshot of the stage and post it on your stories on social media. And just put a little hashtag on it. Okay, these little small things, I promise you, will lead us into the right hands. And we'll look back and be like, wait a minute, what did we do? It would be a combination of small steps by simply sharing the room and telling a friend. With that said, Eric, I don't want to capitalize on the stage too much. I'll pass my back over to you.
Sean, I appreciate you, my friend, and we will definitely spend some more time on the phone. And I just want to thank you again for reaching out to me as quickly as you did, and getting on the phone with me. And that was a testament to a year of time. It's not like Sean just showed up yesterday, but there's serendipitous energy here happening, and it's evidenced by everybody in this room right now. I think it's about time that we turn briefly here, because Sean, I want to introduce you to Alexa and then to Shafat, who is here on stage with us as well, because this is a community that is going to get to know each other quite intimately, and there's going to be so many things we won't be able to describe tonight that will be growing from it. Alexa, I know you. Yes.
Sorry, before you do that, guys.
Yeah.
There's more than 26 people in this room. So if every single person can share this room and just spread the love, because basically we need to get as many people eyes on this room as possible to create the awareness. So there's 26 currently shared. I'm one of them. If you can just share it, you don't have to share it to your social medias, just share it to Clubhouse. So all of your contacts are in now can say, okay, what's going on in that room? And they might pop in, and then something may resonate with them where they can literally click the link. Because as I say, guys, we're not here, asking for any money. We're just here to try and create the little ripple, which will then become a tidal wave, and where we'll make people stand up and pay attention, and then change the actual rules, which will then help people who are in the situation of Alexa, which we're going to hear from in a moment. So I'm going to hand the mic back. Thank you, guys. 32. Come on, we can get this. There's more than 32 people in here. Come on, guys.
We can get up to 50 here, easy enough. Thank you, David. It's incredibly important. It's the easiest digital currency you can do. It takes about 10 seconds all day if you push the buttons and you know where they are. You don't need me to reiterate that. I think that's what I wanted to say to everybody in the room right now, is that today's is a revving up. It's a ramp. It's the first step. In a couple of weeks' time, the next time that you see us show up like this, there may be some more rooms in between that are similar, but when we are ready, we have just been pledged some support here today that is going to bring a place where you're going to be able to point proudly to the website and the channels and all of the things that are going to be created to make it easy for you to share. We're not going to ask you to type or read or do a lot of things. We're going to prepare things to ask our community to just drop these seeds along the way. When you walk out your door in the morning, just sprinkle a few of these seeds across the edge of your garden as you walk down the street. That being said, Alexa, I have read everything under the sun and have a hard time comprehending, even for a moment, what might be going through your mind. I don't pretend to even have the first inkling My kids are grown, you know, almost. I don't know if any of us are all the way grown, but mine are big, and I have baby envy, and to think about this global pandemic and then this, I have to admit my ignorance. I didn't know at all. I didn't know what you're suffering with, Alexa. I wish you could take a deep breath and try to share with us how it is that Laura's sorority sister, just going along her life with her family and kids, ended up as the face of one of the scariest things I've ever faced in this world. This thing called PKU, and you're the face of it now. You're on national television. You're in People magazine. You have CNN calling you and knocking on your door, you know, on the television to talk about this.
Yes,
I
baby.
don't know how you do it, Alexa, but I sure hope that you have a little wind in your lungs to help us understand a little better. Alexa, if you're there, over to you.
Hey, thank you guys so much. Everyone, I just want to take a quick second to say, oh my God, I can't believe how many people are in this room to talk and listen about my boys and everybody else in the metabolic community. It means the world to us. This has been a crazy ride ever since we found out that Taylor had PKU about a year and a half ago. Even back then, literally, we didn't even have time to grieve before we had thought of, oh my goodness, what are we going to do about formula? What are we going to start? And that was before the formula crisis. So even a year and a half ago, we were like, what are we going to do to pay for this formula? Literally, we've had papers drawn since he turned 1 year old on being ready to be legally separated, so I can get some single mom benefits. So it's been a wild ride. This whole formula crisis has affected us in every way, shape, or form, between my family, my husband's relationship, my kids, their brain and their well-being, and everything in between. It has consumed me for a better part of a month, and it has taken away, love, joy, and happiness out of my life for quite some time now. But I can tell you that everyone reaching out and just you guys being here in this group and listening to this has been so amazing, and it makes me want to get up in the morning, because now there's actually a light at the end of the tunnel. Now I can see that this is going to make a change, and it's going to be a positive change for my boys. If you think about it, Taylor was born literally in the heart of a pandemic. So was Jax. So both of them are, pandemic babies, and they have, barely been outside pretty much. They haven't, done a lot of things. But and then to face this formula crisis, it's been mind-numbing and mind-blowing all at the same time. Just to find out that, nobody can find this medically necessary formula, and it's not just like everybody said. It's not just something that we can go to Walmart or Target 100 times, or you can't check in the state of Kansas for us. It's not like that. It is literally, I can't drive to Mexico. I can't fly to the United Kingdom. Literally, it's made here in New Jersey, and it is shipped to those places. So if they can't get it for me, nobody can get it for me. So it's not here, there, anywhere. It's literally being made right now. But we have literally, after people had some samples they sent us, so we had about a 3-week supply total left, but now we're down to 2 weeks, and they're still at least 2 weeks out, and then they say it's another 2 weeks from there until it gets shipped to where it needs to go. And we are trying to switch over to a different PKU formula, and my son is literally not rejecting it. I think he's literally drinking half the bottle, so it doesn't matter how much I shake it or anything like that. I think he's literally just choosing to drink just so his stomach doesn't growl and feel, horrible from hunger pains. But he doesn't like it, and he does not finish his bottles. And normally, if you've ever seen him, he gets so excited when he sees his bottle. He flaps his little hands and, does a little jig. And it used to be such a joyous moment for him, because he's getting his nutrition, and he was happy about it and loved it so much. And now I think he only puts up with it just to get the bare minimum.
Alexa, on this point, I just want to step in here and sort of I just have my experience. It's going to embarrass me to say this out loud, but what you just shared was something I went through with my little family fuzzy member who's gone now, but our dog, right? The dog, people, the vets and everybody says, look, the dog is not like you. He doesn't want to eat Italian one day and a different cuisine the next. He needs what he needs. And it's the parallel is not the same, but it is the same, right? It's a food. And we had one where our dog was allergic apparently to salmon or something that was in the food. Literally, I thought he blew up like, you know, so what happened to my pet, who is my family member, I'm just that way. But to your baby, I mean, and he's only eating enough to where he's already knows how he feels, and it's not good. And you're trying, and what I understand is that even in the transition between formulas, there's a biological challenge that's happening because we can damage him if he gets the wrong amount of protein and some things that are probably over my head. You know, we have Alexa. I want to come right back to you, and I want to keep, you know, I think unpacking your story as we go. We have Shafat here for a moment, and Shafat is a man that has experience beyond my own, and he has a resolve and a gravity of center that I admire quite a bit. Spends his time contemplating problems and solving them from afar. That's what it seems to me. That's what Shafat does. Shafat, are you there? We see a little mic. Make sure you're at your mic at the moment. He is. I would like to pass to the two of you, Shafat, to look to you, because what I said to you today in brief was, I'm out of my depth and I'm scared to death, because I can jump up and down and I can make a lot of noise and I can make all the milkshakes come to the yard. But as I know, and you know better than I, the NGO at large makes a little noise for a couple of years and then kind of folds up and fades away. And I hope that you might be able to pour into this audience, this first conversation, what it's really going to take for us to put a dent in the universe here, Shafat, because you're the only one I know that's close enough to at least give me an idea of what we're looking at. It looks big to me. There's a big tall hill with a building sitting on top of it, a bunch of people that don't do their job very well, in my opinion. We're going to have to kick some doors down the right way. And I'm wondering if you can't share with Alexa while we all kind of listen in on what it is that you vision is going to be the effort necessary to make a difference here. Shafat, over to you.
Thank you so much, Eric. And obviously, Michael, Laura, Gina, I've met. Amna, who's awake at this time, and Alexa. I wish I could do whatever it takes to make sure that your children never ever suffer any kind of brain damage due to this. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a big shout out to Crystal, the founder of Mom's Link. I have a lot of friends up here on the stage, Jackie, Nelena, and many others, Kim, Savoy, and Edna, and a few others, and Antonio. So thank you very much for joining us. I happened to meet Laura a couple of weeks ago, and she shared about Alexa. And it took my attention. So immediately after a discussion here on Clubhouse, we happened to speak to Michael, her husband. Eric was there, Amna was there. We had a detailed discussion. The next thing we know is that we immediately laid out a plan, not only for Alexa, but many other children and many other mothers like Alexa. Approximately about 17,000 children in the US suffer from PKU. And I was just wondering, a superpower in the world cannot feed 17,000 children. It's a shame. The crisis goes above and beyond. There has been a shortage of regular formula milk, which is not even medicated or specialized for PKU. There's a shortage out there. And kudos to all the mothers out there who have learned that in the United States, they're actually pumping out their own breast milk and giving it out packaged to a lot of children out there. So for a moment, can we just have a flash of mics with these amazing women and mothers who are not only taking care of their kids, but everybody's children. And to me, this proves the power of women. This is what it proves to me. This proves to me that our children and our mothers, they're common to us. Your mother is like my mother, and your children are like my children. And that is what the world needs today as we fight the ripple effects and the after effects of the pandemic. It's very easy to blame that, oh, logistics weren't there, this wasn't there, that wasn't there. But I just wonder, what about all these Unilevers and P&Gs and Abbotts and all these formula guys? What's wrong with them? Why aren't they manufacturing where about 10,200 babies are born every day in the US and beyond the world? Does anyone has any idea where the ripple effect is going to be? Do you know how exponential that is? We have a hot mic, if you don't mind muting it. I think it's Allison. So to put it out there, there's a slight difference between regular formula and what Alexa is suffering. Children who are on to regular formula, they could still somehow make it. Somehow. Maybe they could find another wet nurse or someone who can help them. There's a way. It's going to bring community closer. But those with PKU, it's physical, emotional, and it's the brain damage. Those children won't make it. So when I heard about this whole thing, and to me it was all new, I've never heard about this metabolic disorder. There is nothing that we have heard about it in Dubai. There's nobody in my immediate relationships who are suffering from this. But when I hear the suffering, I felt it, and I felt it deep inside. We're really proud to announce that we understood a lot of ways. Okay, let's have insurance agents cover this up. Let's, weigh in and speak to congressmen and get a bill approved to make insurance mandatory. That should cover the cost. The difference is humongous. $320 per month to give, canned milk to babies who are normal formula. $5,000 for someone suffering from PKU. I mean, is there any single place where healthcare is not making and stripping people and ripping people off money? $5,000 really? How many of you on stage or in the audience really make $5,000 a month just to begin with? Forget diapers and everything. Just the formula, $5,000. There's no way to cover it. What are these guys going to do? Beg on the street? And as a mom, what are you going to do? Are you going to rob a retail outlet? And the worst part, nobody saw it coming. How come? How come nobody saw it coming? So yes, we can raise our voices. We can have a Twitter trend out there. 17,000 mothers, not a lot. Everybody gets together, stands in front of the White House, put up the placards and say, oh, we need to take care of these PKU children. We're suffering from this disorder. And by the way, this metabolic disorder, I'm not a doctor, but I'm sure it is because of whatever bullshit vaccinations we have been given with, and it's a generational crap that is now appearing in our next generations, and the antibiotics that we have been, poured up with. So frankly speaking, it's the fault of the healthcare system that new disorders are hopping up every second day. But do you really think, all of us, we stand out in front of White House, stand there for the next 90 days and nothing will happen? Trust me, nothing will happen. Go on state to state, take a long walk, you know, make a protest which is topless with our babies in our arms. Nobody's going to give it a year. All we're going to get is as follows: coverage on CNN, coverage on Fox News, a little bit here, a little bit there, and 3 days of lots of spiced up, you know, coverage. The whole world looks at us. The whole world ridicules us. Some of them laugh at us, like many of the people who do not like US, they're going to laugh at the US for being unable to produce or for being unable to provide. And that's about it. 3 days later, you've got something new on media, which is the next trend. 10 days later, you're no more news. 1 month later, you're dumped in social media like the 1,000th or the 1 millionth post, which you have to scroll for the next 30 days to find out. And there goes your Google AdWords, and you guess you're in everything in drain. And elections are nowhere near. So who's going to hear you out? Nobody needs votes right now, at least for the next couple of years. So what is our strategy? Are we going to continue paying $5,000 to these monsters? And all they have to produce is 20,000 or maybe 30,000 boxes per month for 17,000 kids. That's all they have to produce. Something that's costing $1 billion. And what Michael has suggested, that if there's insurance going to cost $100 and some million, that's about it. Nobody wants to look at that impact because this impact doesn't win votes. It's too small a community. Nobody cares. What are you going to do getting 30,000 votes or 50,000 votes? So how is it that we're going to bring a change? So all that I'm saying is a result of the context to what we're proposing and what we're building now. So we realize media won't work. We realize pressuring Congress won't work. It's not in their interest. We realize that going and suing one of these corporations out there with whatever IPs they have on their medical formula is not going to work because they own it. They've got 100 years lease or whatever lease on it or whatever, you know, protection on it, and they're not giving it to no one. And they're going to simply say we are profit-centric and period. We are profit-centric, so go to hell. Make your own formula if you want. So you know what? We're going to make our own formula. And this is what we're going to do. 2 weeks from now, or maximum 3 weeks, we will be filing for an NGO, which will have about 6 board of trustees, which Michael, Laura, and Eric, and Lex are going to announce. And fortunately, with all ourselves, we're part of it, to articulate it, to structure it. And that NGO is not a typical NGO which is going to go around begging every month that please help this mother or this father to make up to those $5,000. And your hard-earned money is not only donated to help these parents and that child, but 80% of that money is actually a corporation's profit. So we're not giving those corporations that profit. What we're going to do is make it sustainable. So the idea is that we're going to create a social enterprise which will be linked to children suffering from PKU. And our end game is going to be that about 50% of every single dollar that is donated to us, 50% will go to buying the formula, and 50% of that will go into another capital bucket from which we're going to create this small little factory which will produce medicated formula for PKU children suffering worldwide, all over the world. And selling that formula along with regular formula will be able to sustain and give free PKU or subsidized formula to every single child that is born with that metabolic disorder. It doesn't end here. We have spoken to one of the top insurance companies and an underwriter in Switzerland, and we have calculated the risk and everything and the probability and the stats. By next week, we'll have the numbers, and we're going to sell it as an insurance product to every newlywed couple, parents, or about to become parents, to buy this as an insurance and cover their children for PKU. Now, as we know, that the probability is low, so therefore insurance will be in their safety net, and a regular parent will be able to buy the insurance, which will ultimately help the community of those who are suffering from PKU. Unfortunately, the growth rate of such children is way high. So what we are building together is a social enterprise which will support children, parents, and we believe that if we do it by ourselves, it would not cost any parent more than $700 to $800 per month. It's not going to be $5,000. It is never going to be $5,000. And it doesn't end here. Me and my partner, Amna, we're partners in an advertising agency, which I founded 13 years ago. We have 10 global offices. A lot of people work for us. So my agency is giving up, support, and we are going to completely brand the NGO and the social enterprise. We're going to create the investment decks. My investment firm is working on that. We'll be reaching out to some of the large donors, some of the VCs, some of the LPs who have invested with us, and ultra high net worth individuals, HNWIs, FIs, family offices, and a lot of people who we know in our diaspora in the Middle East and beyond. We'll be putting a word out, and we'll be requesting them that even if they have to come in as equity partners in the factory, they're more than welcome to become. So let's say they put $1 million. Whatever profits we make, we return their $1 million. There's no profit. Put in $1 million, take back your $1 million. We want to operate with integrity, not with someone's donations. You want to come in as a partner, come in as a partner. You got excess cash. So we are working on the investment structure actively as we are speaking. We are working on putting the word across, pushing the word across. And any one of you who wishes to donate, half of that will go to moms and children and parents and fathers, and half of that will go into building a factory. We're looking at certain areas. I have a number of lands across the globe, all the way from Australia to Pakistan to Dubai to Saudi to Oman and Bangladesh as well. So Australia, as you know, has a huge land bank. So we're looking at whichever place works best in terms of labor cost and production cost. I'm going to donate a land out of my own land to put the factory up, or we're going to have some other landowners who are going to do that. So that's my humble donation, and God willing, it should be accepted. I'm a father of two, and this could be anyone's children, and if at all, it could be my grandchildren. I never know. It could be my sisters or my niece or nephew's children. And frankly speaking, your children are like my children. So me and Amna are proud and really honored to support through our agency. Honored to be to help form this NGO. Honored to put our trust in place, and honored to make sure that everything is transparent. And there are regular updates will be given out to donors. And at the same time, once we are on this goal, we will be sharing the updates to the government and other, people who are in power, just to let them know that it's better if they join hands with us. And even if they don't, we are humans, and we can still do it all by ourselves as private sector. If there is a private sector which can consider it as a profitable opportunity and make money out of it, there still are humans out there who are just there to serve, and profit is not their motive. This is Shapat, and I'm done. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the space.
Wow, can we just take a second, open the mics, and just let this breathe? Can everybody, can I get a clap? The man is going to stand behind us. He's going to coach us The man walks with world leaders. He is here because he decided to be here. And you heard him say everything. I don't need to remix. I just want everyone on this stage to understand the alignment with an effort like this. You can't give away everything you have and not get it back in spades. That's why we're here. We're here because we're going to change it. And so Shafat put the sobriety into us from day one. The moment it came out, he said, this is what will happen if you do it that way. This is what we're going to do. I don't even know the words to say to that. I want to throw this back to Alexa and get some response from her a little bit and let you guys all understand we need you because this is a big undertaking. Shafat can push and he can do a lot of things, but not without the village to execute it. And it's going to take all of us. Alexa, is there a little gleam of hope? We need some faith and some hope, and we need to kick it in right here and put it into play. Alexa, over to you.
And this is, I'm trying to collect myself over here because my husband is downstairs with the kids as well, and I'm down here too. And I'm looking over at my son, and he's, hitting his head on the floor right now because his head hurts so much. And I'm like, trying, you get to a point where you're literally like that. At first, every time you go, and you take a deep breath, but after it's happened for a month straight, you stop gasping, and you just and then I'm losing it from that and losing it from this and hearing this, and I literally felt this heat come off my body, and it was literally a weight was lifted off me. There's literally a light at the end of the tunnel, and hope, and I'm looking at him crying, and he's looking at me through the bars because I'm inside a baby gate because I'm in my workroom trying to keep it quiet, and I cannot. I'm trying to collect myself. I can't thank anybody enough for being here and for all of that. I mean, some of it was over my head, but most of it made sense. And
you just catch your breath. Yeah, you just catch your breath. Just breathe. I just wanted to make sure that you at least got the weight of what just happened, because I'm spinning. I'm in tears over here. I can't keep my face on straight, to tell you the truth. And I just think that this is a point where I think we've had the opportunity here to say, hey, everybody, you see what it is. At least you got an idea of what we're up against. At least you all know that we're not just here banging a drum because we like to, hear our own voices. At least you see we have not only somebody, we have somebody that stands in space and creates and has traded more companies in more sectors than I can count on the heat map that I trade from. And that is the knowledge, the experience that's required to do different than all the 90% of the other failures for all of the other 100 and more things that are just as passionate and just as needed and just as everything. The thing that has fired me up is that we have a plan that can work. And we have a man who doesn't do things just by talk. He's going to put everything he just said where his mouth is. The challenge to us is we got to be there to catch that ball. He's going to throw the pitch. We got to be able to hit the curve. There's a lot of work to be done here. And it's going to take more than me and Laura and Michael and Alexa's family alone. We're going to be leaning into. We had conversations today with our friends from the Mom League who are, part and parcel launching an incredible event in Las Vegas right now. And they spun that up and shared again in more detail today as I had the grand opportunity to hear it about what's happening this weekend. So this is going to be about momentum and momentous occasions and community in place and space that have passion in their profit. And I think we just heard the gentleman describe. Laura, over to you. We just heard Shafat describe what it's going to take and who it's going to take. And it's not just a couple of us. He can't do it all from afar. There is a lot to do here. Laura, I'd like to throw it to you and see if you can help me try to keep my face on straight here.
Let's go to Shafat. Shafat's flashing, and I know it's late over in Dubai. So Shafat, was there something else you wanted to add in there?
Thank you, Laura. Yeah, before I lose the stream of thought, and remember that it's about 2:15 a.m. in Dubai. I'm just awake for this to show my support. And I think this is what's going to take all of us. Before I forget, we have already tied up two of my companies. One of them is Okasha Calligraphy art gallery. It's a global gallery. The gentleman is the president. He's one of the best calligraphers in the world. And we'll be doing an auction once we launch. Any single painting that you buy, it would be at a discount, and half of the profits, which is my share, 49%, will go back to the foundation. The second thing is that we have handcrafted swords that I showed to Laura and Michael and Eric today, and Amna, and we're gonna fight. So anyone who's going to donate $5,000 is going to receive a sword of honor, which is handcrafted. It's rare, and it would be, your name would be etched there. The name of the foundation would be etched there, and you will leave it as a legacy for your generations and children, to tell them that with this sword we fought for the rights of children. It's a sign of power. And I was looking at the back channel chat. Scotty probably mentioned that. Is it another startup for baby formula? So it is not a startup. It is a very simple social enterprise where this would be a business for people, by the people, and for people like us. We don't want to go around like another failed NGO, wherein 70% of the donations they collect are thrown into administration expenses, salaries, and marketing. And 30% actually reaches out, or 20% reaches out to the people who deserve it and who need it. And people changing their lifestyles by opening up an NGO and doing their personal and self-branding and getting out there and getting speaking engagements and being there on TED Talks just for their NGO. And then later on landing a job of a director one place or the other, just because you turn around with NGO and 3 years later, that cause is nowhere. And thousands of NGOs which are registered every year, they have zero impact, if at all, because either they are unable to raise the money or they're unable to sustain the money. And then another NGO pops up and there's a mushroom growth of NGOs left, right, and the center with zero impact. And this is why we don't want to go around begging every day, but we're definitely going to look out for partners, particularly somebody as awesome as Crystal. She's phenomenal with MomLinks, with many others, with TLN. Do Google TLN. And as Alexa has been featured in People, where's that article? How many of you have read the article on People? And do you think People has the formula? Can they give her that can which her baby needs? No, nothing. So what do we need? What's the core problem? The core problem is the formula. Where is it? It's not there. Who has it? Those who are charging $5,000 and creating, I don't know, an artificial shortage or a real shortage. Who knows? But whatever it is, with double-digit inflation coming our way, with a recession coming our way, is that the only way how you can make money is just through blackmailing parents and little children and let them go through brain damage? Is this how you make money? Is this how you run your big corporations? What are the ethics? Unfortunately, the corporate sector, and I work with them and I still work with them, and I'm board members at a few of them. I know the board meetings. They don't give a damn. So you know what? We do. These 6, 7 people and hundreds of people in this room, we do. So we're going to fight for it. We're going to unite.
Guys, let's flash
We're
on
going to
Mike
help.
Shafat and the way you.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. So we're going to help. We're going to fight, and we're going to save our children, and we're going to remove this anxiety. On an average, people are making $2,500, $3,000. Single moms. I mean, can you imagine a single mom or a single dad with a couple of children or one child for which you just have to pay $5,000 for food just to keep him alive or keep her alive? Is this the world we're living in? Really? So, frankly speaking, let's put the world out there. I'm going to pull in as many strings as I can, and I really appreciate each one of you to do your best and be ready 3 weeks from now. We're going to have a massive digital marketing campaign. And to each one of you, please follow each other's Instagram handles. So once we share those posts, please reshare them. the minimum we can do is raise
That's the
awareness.
minimum we can do. Shafat, can we just let that breathe?
Yeah.
Eric, I've got a question for Shavat. The swords, are they limited, or are they for like anybody who's got $5,000, or are they going to be limited numbers? Just so I know.
So we have 5 of those just to begin with, and we're gonna create more. I have my craftsmen here. We're gonna create them as the names, giving it out to people. And yes, this is what we need as to fight for babies who can't speak, can't walk. All they can do is cry and look at their mother. They can't stand with a placard. They can't go out there and scream for their rights. Nobody understands their language. They hardly speak a word. We're going to stand for them. And I'm going to stand for every single child in this world.
Amen to you, brother. Amen.
I would love to jump in. This is Crystal,
Yes,
if I can.
Crystal, over to you.
Yeah,
Yes, thank you.
I'd like to jump into Shafat. Is that
This is
The
Crystal's
first
youth club, so let's let Crystal go, and then Edna will come to you after Crystal.
Amazing. Thank you. The first thing I just wanted to jump in and say, first of all, I want to congratulate the whole team effort here and the collaboration that is happening. That is impressive. It's amazing. Laura, I have just witnessed another side of you. I am so proud that you are part of the Momly community, being a leader in the Momly community. And Alexa, you are so lucky and fortunate to have a woman like Laura by your side, your friend, your advocate. Literally, I see Laura hustling to support you and this cause. So, Alexa, I just want to pour into you a little bit. Shafat was talking in the beginning about how powerful women are, and I'm smiling ear to ear, and I'm looking at your profile and I'm thinking, wow, we are damn powerful. And, you know, oftentimes we talk about resiliency and our kids are resilient. And I say, it's because mothers are resilient. It's because all of that we endure and that we carry, and, you know, as mothers, what we do for our children and the lengths we'll go to for our children. So Alexa, to you, I can only imagine. I have 2 boys, 3 and 5, who, you know, it's already a struggle and a stressor for parents to wonder.
Looks like a
Crystal, we lost you in the matrix there, Crystal.
As parents and mothers. Oh,
Crystal, take a pause. We lost about 10 seconds there. Just give it a breath and give it that last sentence I read you.
It looks like someone was trying to call you and it kind of cut you off in the middle of what you were saying. All right, Crystal.
Did we lose her?
I think we lost her.
Well, let's cruise over to Edna, and then we can just come back. Edna, throw it on back to her when you get your. Go ahead, Edna.
So, you know, I just want to thank everyone and applaud them for a huge move here. This is great, and I want to throw a couple of things out there, because the formula issue is not an isolated issue to children with PKU. My son was born with a cleft lip, cleft palate, partially deaf, and now he has epilepsy. So a kid like that is special needs on a whole nother level. Feeding them is a challenge. You got to feed them through syringes. There's so many women out there that don't have the necessary tools. I've been part of the Pathfinder community in the U.S. for many, many years. I will contact families when the babies are born so that they can, you know, feed successfully. And so the formula shortage, I don't know which one it is that they're looking for, if it's Neocate or the Nutrica. But those are the same ones that they give to the kids with cleft lip and cleft palate, because they only take it, if you feed them 4 ounces, they're only eating 2. There's a lot of waste, and it gets to be very, very, very expensive. So, you know, I think there's other opportunities, not just with PKU children, but with children that are born with facial malformations, like my son, that have difficulty eating, and the failure to thrive rate is really high, as well as children with epilepsy, because if they have epileptic seizures and they're not controlled, the gagging reflex, the throwing up, it's a challenge. So all I can say is that coming together, moving forward with this is going to be a huge thing. I will also add this: there are companies that are currently already making formula. I'm in Mexico right now, so if somebody wants to text me what formula we're looking for, I can go to about 3 pharmacies and I can send 2 of my guys to one of the stores here and clean out whatever we need and just bring it back across the board.
Thank you, Edna. Thank you, Edna. I really, really appreciate that. We mentioned earlier that we are going to be including the other zebras. I'm a huge member of a couple of the zebra rare disease and disorder organizations that are directly impacted by this lack of medically required nutrition, including FPIES, EOE, VCLAD, and Crohn's disease, and other various digestive and inborn metabolic disorders that are directly impacted by the enlisted in the Medical Nutrition Equity Act. Right now, with reference with Nutricia and the North American representatives and with the doctors at Children's National and all of the metabolic specialists that Alexa works with, right now there has not been anything identified in Mexico to be safe for Alexa's children. So we do appreciate your efforts to go and look for those, but right now for the specific type that they need, because what happened is that there was a massive recall on Abbott formula due to something on their plants, and it was all across all of their branches. Yeah. And everyone that was on the medical grade on Abbott jumped over, and that caused a massive shortage in demand that was not expected on the other medical brands. So right now it is not something that you can just go find, and it's not been medically advised to get anything from out of country. But I do appreciate your efforts, and do know that the other rare diseases are not being forgotten. The other metabolic and digestive disorders are not being forgotten. Right now, Alexa is the face of this. Right now, these very small populations of inborn metabolic errors and digestive disorders that are part of the rare disease, they don't have a loud enough voice. And this is a gateway to be able to help other communities attached to this that require this type of food. So it's not saying it's only for one subset of a subset of a subset. This is the gateway to be able to provide this medically required food to keep children and families healthy and safe. It's not just a one-stop. This is a long-term solution, not focused only on one subset, but for all children requiring medically necessary food to keep them alive and healthy, and preventing them from having to have a G-tube to get it covered. Crystal, I believe, is back in
So
service.
Laura, I had a real quick question. You're saying that there's no formulary that's comparable that could be substituted, because a lot of the same products that these corporations make and these manufacturers that produce this stuff, they sell American product in Mexico, and they're pushing this product all over the world. And the formulary, as long as the formulary is similar, you can buy it under a different brand. Like, they'll make the same formulary.
And it has been discussed with her medical team about going to Mexico, about going to Canada, and so on. And it has not been medically advised. And they have had people reach out from across the pond, all of those things, to look for the formulas that would be comparable. And they have been advised not to do that at this point in time, that it is not a viable option. So I really, again, I appreciate that.
Wow, I'm sorry about that.
Crystal, you are back in service?
Yes, I am back. Sorry about that. Shafat, it's past 2 a.m. at your hour, and in my house, it is pure chaos time with some toddlers. I was just pouring into Alexa and just saying how resilient you are, and for you sharing your story. Honestly, you have no idea how many lives you are touching by sharing your story, and inspiring and empowering, because seeing another woman, another mom, come to the forefront for her children and advocating for our children, because really, realistically, no matter in which country you live in, even, here in Canada, we do have free healthcare. However, you still need to advocate for your children's healthcare, right? And so I just applaud you, and I just want to let you know that you're inspiring me, you're inspiring so many women, and you're educating so many people. So I applaud everybody who's behind this effort. It's absolutely incredible. Shafat, I want to say something to you that's, you like literally hit a part of me that I haven't tapped into in a while. Your idea, the collaboration that happened here with all of you to put this idea together for a solution is incredible. It is a grassroots nonprofit approach. And I worked in the nonprofit for 18 plus years. And one of the reasons I left was because I was missing this concept of nothing for us without us. NGOs, not including those that they're looking to serve, are really making a mistake. And I've seen that happen in the 18 plus years of my career. I think the idea that all of you have put together, your energies and your efforts, that you're going to move forward with this cause and raising funds and raising awareness is incredible. I applaud you all. Shafat, I honestly speak your language, and everything you said resonated with me. So thank you to speaking to the activist in my soul that chose the nonprofit world for things like this, moments like these, and opportunities to really make a difference in the world. So thank you so much for having me on stage. Alexa, thank you for sharing your story. Please continue to come into the MomLink community. We will continue to embrace and support you in any which way that we can. Thank you, much appreciated. I yield my mic.
Crystal, you're a powerhouse. My goodness. It's going to take about 27,000 more crystals, and thank God we have you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Shafat, did you have any thoughts before you fall asleep? In Crystal and Edna, the likes of the gravity that Shafat brings is the reason I'm here. Shafat, over you.
Thank you, Eric and Crystal. I remember the first chat we had a couple of weeks ago. I'm lucky to have met you. One of the few women who have an impact. Thoroughly professional, very smart. And I hope we achieve great things together. I hope we do great things together. And I hope together we can all make an impact. Definitely look forward to meeting you. And I'm truly humbled and obliged. Frankly speaking, it's not about me or you or Eric or Michael or Laura. It is about our children's children and their children. It is about parents. It is about, I'm sure a lot of us have gone through those times when $10 would mean the world to us, and when $1 million would seem less to us. We've all seen those. It's not about wealth. It's not about money. It's not about connections. It is just about setting a benchmark to create a self-sustainable NGO linked with a social enterprise for other NGOs and other causes and other socialpreneurs like yourself and many others out there who can learn how to create an NGO and create an impact without begging to VCs like us or impact funds and being on the mercy of the political red tape and glass ceilings, especially when it comes to women and children fighting for their rights in a man's world. And I think we are living in the century where that gap is being bridged, where ethnicities, colors, gender, ages, or sexual orientations or religious orientations do not matter. I think it's time for us to create an example, set a platform, and create an inspiration.
What did I say?
Where we all meet together at a level of being human. So you and all of you are very much my inspiration. I hope in whatever lifetime that I'm left with, I could do as much as I can so our children do not blame us. That what did you guys do and what kind of a world you have left for us. And Edna is a great friend of mine. So Edna, I'd love to hop on a call with you, because all of this happened really fast. But anybody else, please, DM us, reach out to us, any one of us, And by the way, you do not have to click follow, just send a message, we'll respond. It is not about following here. It is not about anything here. It's just about the cause. Let's keep the eyes on the ball and make it happen in 3 weeks. God bless you all. Thank you.
Can we give it up? Can we at least give it up for just the fact that we got something to do? Give it up. Open a microphone and let Shafat go to bed happy tonight.
Oh my God.
Thank you. We got extra. We got extra. Laura, over to you.
My club deck totally glitched. That's what happened.
That's good stuff.
So I want to thank everyone for all of their support. Again, there's 72 people in the room right now. This room has only been shared 57 times, despite 491 people having come through. Please share the room. We're going to be here for a little bit longer, still talking about this. It is an important cause. It is amazing what Shafat has pulled together. It is, when we had our call earlier, it's amazing what a 1 a.m. room, social room in Clubhouse can create. Literally just a social room where you're shooting the shit, and I just dumped what was on my heart, what was going on with Alexa. And Shafat was like, no. What did you just say? And here we are now, having taken so much action, and we are allowing you to participate and take action as well. And one of the things that Shafat touched on and discussed was, we are getting ready to launch this NGO project with the manufacturing of the formula. And we mentioned these swords, and we mentioned these beautiful, beautiful calligraphy paintings. And we will have these uploaded to the website when it's all done, and you'll be able to see that and see what we're talking about, because visually there's no way to explain the beauty of these pieces without seeing them. But if you are interested in participating, in giving back in more ways than just sending a letter to the senator or tweeting to your senators or representatives, you are able to make a pledge. We're not asking for the money now. If you don't have the money, do not do it. We're not trying to pressure anyone. But if you feel that calling to make a pledge, please let us know, and we will get to you and hold you to that, so that when everything is set up, we'll be able to come back to you and take care of that, and you can get what you get for participating in this cause. This has been a whirlwind. If you follow me on social media, if you follow me in Clubhouse, I've been scatterbrained. I haven't been posting. I haven't been consistent, but it's been for an amazing cause, not just for Alexa, not just for my community of FPIES families, but for all of the children and all of the children that have yet to be born with rare diseases, and being part of the herd of zebras to make a loud noise. And I am so fortunate to have been in that room at 1 a.m., stressed out for my friend, and have found an amazing friend in Shafat in what we're building here. I just want to say thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
And Michael and Alexa and Eric and Amna. Thanks to the four of you and everybody else.
I can't do anything without you. You know that. We know that you give us the counsel, the insights, that we can take what we have and our power and our and not waste it. Right? We have energy. I mean, Alexa, Edna, and Crystal, and everybody that's on the stage, for crying out loud. I think that's why I heard Edna get excited, because it's in her, fires in her, inside of her already, and clarity came, bang. That's what I'm feeling as well. I really felt when Edna shared. Now, Laura, I want to throw it back to you because we want to touch with the stage now. I want to let you fight the fate and get some sleep if you can. And we've got a lot of folks that showed up for us. We've got a lot of high caliber folks here that I think have thoughts and ideas, and I'd love to get some feedback and some energy back out of the stage to see, what are you guys thinking?
Yeah,
Any
so
thoughts
first,
that you can
Edna,
throw
I
in?
want to make sure that you know that I did put the formulary in there. It is phenylate GMP. It's in the chat. Alexa put it in the chat. I put it in the chat. She's kind of giving responses back on the things that you guys are trying to locate. So just want to let you know that it was in there. So if you are able to find it in the circles that you run with, that would be crazy amazing. But Alexa is responding in the chat about if they're identifying the correct one. Now, I know there are amazing people in here in the room. If you have questions or want to pour in to how you resonate with what's going on, please flash your mic, join the conversation. There's so many of you that I love and adore so much, and I am so grateful that you are here. Please. Anyone going once?
Hey,
Dr. Kissa.
People to ask some questions. Eric's been, heading this thing up, and I just want to take a second to say thanks to him. This is an amazing thing. With me and Laura, it was our brainchild for a long time ago, and again, a 1 o'clock in the morning room with Eric and Shafat, and then Amna coming in. None of this would be possible without the three of them. This is just it's been an amazing whirlwind. Thank you to everybody that's been coming. Just please ask some more questions. Let's continue the conversation. But I wanted to say that before Shafat goes to bed. He's 8 hours ahead of us in Dubai. So thank you so much. Let's keep the convo going. This is amazing.
Eric, it's Jackie. If I can just make a brief comment. I heard Laura mention that they're looking after many that they're looking after many situations to do with the gut and different conditions like that. As somebody who was diagnosed with Crohn's disease as an adult, I can't imagine what that is like handling for a child and a child having to deal with, because it's hard enough as an adult. So whatever can be done, I think you guys are amazing. I'm so proud of you all for coming together for this cause, and you have all my love and support. This is Jackie in the red, handing back the baton.
Jackie, you're the best. I want to be conscious of time zones. We have a lot of people that are ahead of us in these time zones, and Jackie is one of them, and she always stands strong the way Shafat does as well. I want to go to David, because my new fast friend, David Burgess, is part of this team as much as anybody else, because he just said, you know what, I need to be there. David, I want to give you a chance to just kind of share your feelings and what you experienced inside the last 24 hours before you need to go get some rest, my friend. David Burgess, over to you.
Well, I think we're all pretty much, I'm just going to speak for myself here. I'm actually speechless and overwhelmed with the fact that just such a powerful cause when it comes to children. It's amazing how many people, because just think of the people which are in this room from all over the world. But as soon as we mention anything to do with like children or family or mothers or anything else like that, we're always here for each other. And that's the one thing, guys, which can't separate us, and that's love. Because love conquers everything. And that's how, I survived my operation, because the amount of people that poured into me saying, oh, David's so nice, he's always helped with charities and stuff. And the first thing out of my mouth, Eric, is I said, and this is going to be coming into the rooms a bit later, guys, is obviously we will be raising funds, because obviously, we're going to be doing things which may cost money, etc., etc. And I said straight away, well, let me gift my time as a Zoom call where 100% of the fees. So basically, Eric and Michelle and Laura and Alexa can figure out the fee, and I'll do like a half-hour Zoom show, show them my magic tricks, which usually cost like a few £100s to actually go and see. But I'll gift that, and 100% of the proceeds will go back into plowing into Alexa and supporting her as she is the individual family that I'm now connected with. But that little bit of thing which we can all do, guys, raising funds, some people do skydives, jumps like that, but that's going to be in the future. at the moment, all this is for is it's just to raise awareness. So thank you very much for the 60 people that have shared this room. I appreciate you all, because as I say, we're just raising awareness. We're not here to, you know, ask everybody to put money, put down in the pockets and, you know, give us £1 million and all this jazz. It's purely to create the awareness and to actually bring it to the forefront of the people that are in charge, which can make the difference. Like Shavat, obviously, he's got connections there, but he can't do it on himself, guys. So we all need to rally together. And remember, regardless of what country you're in, it will affect somebody in your country. So that's the thing. And if you've got children, it'll resonate with you even more. And if you haven't got children, it'll resonate with you, because the fact that, you know, going through this, I just can't believe how strong Alexa and her family are, and the way that they have to contemplate on getting a divorce so they could get help from the government. It's just ridiculous. And guys, once again, I'll remember, you've all been in this room. So everybody that's coming to this room, remember, we have made the change here first, guys, and we will make the change, because when we rally together, you know, it's like the cartoon which I refer to, which is ants. Some people might have seen it. Or really briefly, the grasshoppers taking over. They're making the ants get all the food, and he says, oh, it was only one ant that stood up to us. And then he said, oh yeah, imagine this nut one ant. And he said, did that hurt? And he throws it at them, and he goes, no, it didn't even feel it. He says, how about this one? Throws another nut at the grasshopper. And then he says, how about this? And he smacks the thing off, and all the nuts basically drown the grasshoppers and basically kill them. And he says, when they realize that they outnumber us 1,000 to 1, there goes our way of life. So guys, remember, we're powerful in numbers. So as long as we get the awareness out there, we can do this, guys, and we are going to do this. And I'm here 100%. If anything that I can do, guys, just feel free to hook me up, and I'll help and support. So thank you, Eric, for inviting me. Thank you for Michelle, Laura, Alexa, everybody else who's involved. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of this and hearing me speak. So thanks, guys. I'm going to yield my mic and go and get some beauty sleep, because no doubt I need.
Get all you can and come back beautiful, my friend David. We're going to need you front and center. Each time we crack open a space, we're going to need that voice. We're going to need everything about you right up front. I want to just shout out a couple of things here as we move up and down the stage. First thing, Sean, I need you to know that the quick work that you do, my friend, we all call you 10K cards, but Sean Lashley does not waste time. He has given everybody a vehicle that is going to empower us to do what he said earlier, share, and he did that. I don't know how many deep. I can't keep up with him. He's doing it in real time while these conversations are going on. Sean, I just can't thank you enough for being here and for being who you are, my friend. We need you. We need you all the way. You're going to teach us how to use and maximize this. And if you have anything, I'd just like you to go ahead and share, Sean. And I just want to give you those thanks. That's the best I can do at the moment. We're going to be leaning on you for your guidance.
Eric, you know, the one thing I want to share after hearing everyone speak here today is this. One, when I just started the clubhouse, you know, I was the promotion freak. I'm always promoting. And someone said to me, they're like, yo, bro, you promote too much. And when I hung up the phone from that, just before I hung up, I made a promise to that individual that if you think I promote too much at this point, I promise you I'll be promoting 10 times harder as I hang up the phone from you. And Eric, let me tell you something. We're the guys who's getting the call today when it's time to get the message out. So what I want to share to everyone here on stage, which goes back to my original message, we don't have a resource problem. We have a connection challenge. So going forward, guys, I would challenge everyone to keep spreading the words. If something connects to you or someone you think is important enough, use those social media channels that we have. Put a post, put a tag, put a comment, and most importantly, tell someone what's going on, because you just never know who is in a position to reach over and make things happen like this for you. All right, so great stage today, guys. I think a lot of the awareness was created here today, and I'm so happy and grateful to be a part of it. Back to you, Eric.
Sean, you're the best, and I will be tapping in with you, my friend, and really getting all your words. Go ahead.
Sorry, there was just something which Sean was on then. Is I remember hearing this, guys. We're only 6 contacts away from somebody that you need to speak to. So I'm 6 contacts away from speaking directly with Elon Musk. 6 contacts away from, dealing with whoever. And the way that works is, if you share this across all your social medias, like your LinkedIn and something else, and then you get them to share it and get them to create awareness, then what happens is those connections are personal to you, and there might be somebody important who like, you know what, I'm going to make a difference there, and then they might be able to have a direct link into whoever the powers that be that can make the change. So as I say, guys, you may think, oh, it's just me, but no, trust me, as long as you share this and you share the message across social medias if you can, that would be much helpful, because as I say, you're only 6 contacts away from actually making a direct contact with anybody who is famous or anybody that has a power to change the thing. So I just wanted to share that because it was something which Sean alluded to. Back to you, Eric. Great.
That's fantastic. I don't have the words to really carry this very far. I just want to touch here as we look up and down the stage. I see Antonio down there, and I see also Augustus, and those are 2 people I'd like to hear their voices. I'd like to hear everybody's voices, quite frankly. But Antonio, are you there? If you give me a little flash to the mic, I wonder what you think about Shafat and what you witnessed here today, because this is your wheelhouse a little bit, right? The VC world. Your name, you're not using pitch freaks for the hell of it. Antonio, why don't you pour in here and tell us about what we're looking at and what we just witnessed?
Well, it's mind blowing, but I actually expect no less from Shafat, because when push comes to shove, and you need to think in an alternative approach to create a solution, Shafat is the man. And where more people give up and beat their heads against the wall, Shafat is looking for a solution. And so he leveraged his creativity, his insights, and his capabilities to come up with a solution where perhaps folks were concerned that there was none. And so being educated by Shafat and by Laura and Michael and Alexis, I've had the opportunity to get a bit deeper into the program and the process, and learned so much from them, particularly yesterday, and was grateful for the knowledge, and of course here to share whatever I can with regards to getting the word out regarding this. I mean, when it comes down to, when push comes to shove, creative people find creative solutions. And so I just want to say how much I appreciate just being in the room, how much I appreciate Shafat and for putting his money where his mouth is, his time and his energy here. And thank you, Eric, for running the call, and Shafat for inviting me to participate. And also, I just want to say thank you to Crystal for introducing me to this group, and Laura and Michael and Alexis. Just sending you so much love here from San Francisco. Back to you.
Love that. A San Francisco native, Bay all day, baby. Antonio, I knew you were my guy. We've been hearing a lot of male voices, and that's not by any grand thing, where it's just the way things rolled out. The ladies on the stage that would like to pour into this, I'd really love you to flash the mic so we can start to make sure we're talking to everybody. And I see now I'm going to let you jump on there first, and then I want to go to Augustus, and then 2 ladies at the bottom. I saw everybody flashing, but let's not make this all about my voice. Let's just get it over and move the mic. Ladies first, and I always screw up your name. Nalai, please help me spell it.
Nalaina Kai.
Nalaina, I try. Help me, please help me.
It's okay.
Hello, my beautiful.
Right. It's Nalaina Kai. Can you hear me?
See, Nalaina Kai, I can say it after you say it. I just got to practice. Nalaina Kai, over to you.
Can you all hear me? Can you?
Yes, you're fine. Go right ahead.
Awesome. I'm driving and I'm on my iPad and in my earphones and everything. So I've been following as much as I can while
be safe. Be safe.
Oh, definitely. It's not in my hand, it's in my ears. So thank you so much. I came in because of the topic. You know, I don't think there was ever going to be a time in our lifetime where we thought something so simple, the world's richest country, could be so poor in some areas. And I thought it was a joke at first. Really? We're out of formula? Really? I mean, basic necessities, we're trying to get the children here. You know, that's one of the things, all these laws are being put in place. They want them here, but how can we take care of these children? And it's like, you know, I hate to bring up this old Michael Jackson song. You can't feed the baby, you know, you understand what I'm saying? But this is what you all are here for, and creating solutions to such a simple problem. I mean, we're feeding other countries, we're putting boatloads of and truckloads of things to other countries, but we have to take care of home first. And it's amazing to me that people outside of our country have to help with a solution for something that should be really in-house and should not be a problem at all. That's a basic right. Every child needs to be taken care of. Every child needs to be fed. And the fact that, people say, well, just breastfeed. Everyone cannot breastfeed. Every woman, there's different issues, there's different things, genetic reasons and medical reasons. There's, for whatever reason, just saying, well, just breastfeed is not the answer. We have to have people like Shafat and people who are on this stage that are coming up with the creative solutions to this problem that should not be a problem in the first place. This is Nalena Kai, and I'm done speaking.
Nalena Kai, I think I'm in love with you. You're probably already married, but man, oh man.
I am not.
Oh man.
Fornication is working out entirely too well.
Oh, all right. Let's keep it moving before I wreck the car here, because I'm going to get fired before we get started. I see Dr. Krista down there. I see Dr. Krista down there, and I would like to pass it over to you.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, or good morning, depending on where you are. I am sitting here, been in here for a while, just listening. There's a part of me that gets teary. There's a part of me that is encouraged when I hear all these men in here, 10K, Eric, Michael, the passion that you have for this. It's not just a woman's issue and breastfeeding or formula. I know you were saying we heard enough men, but we can never hear enough of men's concerns for an issue that is considered, breastfeeding. Like Nalena said, not everybody can breastfeed. I'm getting teary because due to stress, there was one time where I wanted to breastfeed my son so badly, but my milk dried out. And it was about midnight, so I'm looking at my child, and my child is still hungry. Even though it was midnight, I still had the option to go to the nearest pharmacy and buy formula. So I'm imagining there's a mother who's unable to do that. And it breaks my heart. And I agree that, man, how as one of the richest nations, how do we not have formula, which is just a basic? So my heart cries out. Then I listen to those women who were breastfeeding, who had actually stopped breastfeeding their 1-year-old, but they were willing to jump in and pump milk for these other mothers. I mean, that sisterhood right there touches me. And I will do my best to put the word out there and to be as supportive as I can in just being in here and sharing the empathy and the pain other women could be going. In Laura's voice, I can hear it. I can hear the pain of the empathy, of the sadness, and the men in here. So I just want to thank you. And I'm here to be a part of it. The least I can do is listen and support and try to understand and see what I can personally do. Honestly, there's a part of me that wishes if there was a mechanism where I could go back to the ability to produce milk and pump, I would definitely do it. But sadly, I'm way into my 40s. But the thought is there. I thank you men so much. Laura, I hear you. I feel part of what you're feeling. And to the other mothers in here, whatever we can do, let's just do it. And it's not a man or woman issue. So thankfully, the voices are truly balanced in here. So I thank you, Eric, Mike, and all the other men in here. I yield my mic. Thank you, everyone.
Dr. Krista, that means a lot. It's a challenge. We have a challenge in spaces like this when we share them together, and we're thankful enough that typically about everybody I can see here, we're in spaces on purpose. I'm not ashamed that we're in spaces and we're doing things and helping people, and we're going through processes, and coaches are monetizing Clubhouse. I'm not in the least bit going to be deterred because we've got a bad guy here and there. We're going to squash those bucks. What just happened to us today, Dr. Krista, what you just poured into, I feel like that when I listen to your share, that we all have that moment of helplessness in our heart, whether we were a kid or we were an adult. In either direction, it's just where you couldn't change, you can't help, but you feel it. I can't feel what they feel. I can't fathom what these parents could be thinking. And I thought about that when COVID and masks went on these little guys, and I'm scurrying around New York City trying to figure out what to do. That was the paradigm slap in my face. I'm like, dear Lord, what are parents doing with their babies right now in this global pandemic? And then to be confronted after a frustrating day with my friend Laura and Shafat. I don't know where Mike was. He's always getting credit, but I really think he's like playing video games or something while Laura's working. I'm really not sure. We're gonna have to keep an eye. David, we gotta keep an eye on him.
Yeah, well, as we know, Eric, as we know, what they say, and this is true, this is for the ladies, behind every strong man is an even more powerful and stronger woman, and that's true. So, Laura, well done, Hat.
I'm going to say, I don't know how he hit the lottery, but I'm just going to tip the hat. I just wanted to say,
my wife is absolutely an amazing person. I mean, the amount of stuff, like Crystal was talking about earlier, just the amount of stuff she does for the Mom Link, for other women, just like her heart is always in the right place. Every business decision she has, even if it's going to make her successful, is always thinking about somebody else, how it could benefit them. So she tries to really just marry the two worlds of, how to be successful and how to take care of people at the same time. So, yeah, I definitely hit the jackpot. Amazing woman. She's actually just took a break to go wrestle the kids because they're being crazy. So, yeah, she's awesome.
If I had met Laura first, I wouldn't believe you. I would have figured right now you're just blowing smoke, because she's probably behind you with a baseball bat. But I did meet her first, and she did organically, entirely from left field. A mic opened, and I don't know. I honestly, in the moment, I got to ask her again how it triggered. But she shared a story. That's all that happened. We're here today because she just shared a story, because she puts somebody else was in front of her head, while all day long we were trying to counsel. We were trying to calm a situation about people that were just stuck on I. It's so ironic in my head. I don't know if it's my neurodiversity. I don't know what it is, but I am right now. What just slapped my face as I'm looking at names up and down the screen was that we adults at the top of this stage happens to be, we were being us, trying to help. Hey, come on, guys, what? Well, that was basically it. 26 different times. All we got back was, but I. And then at the end of that, at 1:30 something in the morning, on a chuckle room, on purpose chuckle room, 6, 7 of them, these right here, silly dad jokes. I wish I can remember the Hindu jokes. They were like dad jokes, and I was something about Buddha warriors, and I don't remember. We're gonna have to remember those jokes. They were hilarious. I was feeling relieved because I was frustrated, like a father that the male stereotype that's always trying to fix it. I got that thing where it's like somebody's not happy, but I can't fix it. Who told you had to fix it, Eric? I don't know, but that's how it feels to me. I can make it better, right, if I just try a little harder. I can't try any harder. There's no harder to try. What happened was who told you how to fix it, Eric? I don't know, but that's how it feels. I can make it better, right, if I just try a story. And then she was hyperventilating because she was fired up and not emotional. Not, some people are dramatic. Anybody meeting dramatic people on Clubhouse? Anybody that's met a dramatic person on Clubhouse, could you flash your mic for me? I need to break my
Oh my
face
God,
here.
no, not at all, Eric. I don't know anybody who's over dramatic like that.
Yeah, there's no drama on Clubhouse, so to me, it's like that didn't happen. I don't know this woman, and she's I know of her freaking DNA in business. I'm in New York City, folks. We do business here a certain kind of way, nice and clean. Respect the merge. Be on point. Blow smoke, you can go talk to some guy in a subway if you want to do that. That's not how it rolls. So what I heard inside of, I don't know, what didn't take, probably wasn't even the 15 minutes I think it is, probably quicker than that. It was just what you heard tonight, in a pace that I'm not used to, in a sense of gravity that had me centered in a heartbeat. And I was like, I don't even know what's happening right now. And he just, in a much shorter, concise, delivered the message he delivered tonight that said, here's what happens, here's why it's going to fail, and here's what has to happen next. Let me make a few calls. I'll have my team reach out. 8 o'clock the next morning, give or take some minutes, we'll ask Laura. There was email in her inbox. And I told them both, hey guys, all this other nonsense that we've been hearing on Clubhouse these last few days, let me pull you guys over on the side here and let me tell you what's going to happen next, or what's not going to happen. If we're participating in any of this freaking shenanigan, I work with ultra high net worth individuals. I say that only out loud because I have some experience. You know what happens if you act like a clown, or you stomp your feet, or you go open a room and talk about somebody, or do some juvenile jackass thing? You don't. People don't tell you F off, get in a fight, argue with you. None of that happens in the real world. In the real world, Shafat evaporates like he's a genie. We just wouldn't see him again. You'd never know why.
Eric,
what do you got? What's on your mind? Thanks for breaking my rant here.
No, you're okay. I was just going to say, Laura, if you could do a room reset, because there's been a few people who've just come into the room.
Yeah.
And some of my friends
have
just said,
Thank you, my friend.
What's this room about? So if you could just do a brief room reset of why we're all here and what we're actually doing today, that'd be amazing. And then we can get back to some people sharing about what they take away from the room, etc. So if you could do that, Laura, that'd be amazing. Thank you.
Yes, sorry, our 2-year-old decided to take crayons to the wall, so I disappeared for a minute there to try to rectify that. And now my dearest husband's working on getting the 2-year-old to wash the wall. So we are here in the Mom Link. This is an amazing club by Gina, Nicole, and Crystal. It's a place for mompreneurs to collaborate, not compete. And I'm honored to be a part of the Mom Link, to be a chapter president, and I'm honored to be able to hold this space here. Clubhouse sometimes gets a bad rap, but we are here because there is a formula shortage here in the United States. If you haven't heard of it, you've probably been under a rock. And if you've been catching on to the news lately, whether it's People Magazine, Newsweek, Today Show, CNN, Fox News, NPR, etc., you may have heard a story about a Northern Virginia mother who 2 out of her 3 children have a very rare inborn metabolic disorder called PKU. This formula shortage, not only does it affect children all across America, but to the smaller population in America that suffer from rare diseases, the zebras, this is life-threatening. There are days left until these children these children will face irreversible brain damage. Alexa, who has been the face of this all over the news, is my sorority sister. She is my pledge sister. We went to school together. We've known each other for over a decade. And when I heard of what was going on with her and her boys, I was devastated. It started by me opening my mouth in Breakfast with Champions, just saying, hey, the Mom Link was hosting a spot in there. And I was just like, hey, Crystal, I need to share this. This is going on. And everyone was like, we need to do something. We need to do something. And I had no idea what to do. I was very overwhelmed. I was like, oh my goodness, I said something and now I need to do something. I know I need to do something. Imposter syndrome was setting in. We talk about that often here on Clubhouse. And at 1 a.m., still racking my brain on how the heck do we solve this. I was in a social room with Shafat and Eric and a handful of others. Danielle was there. I think she had to pop out of the room. And I said, this is what's happening. This is what's happening. And I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. And it's 100% true. That's how I feel, how I felt. And Shafat said, that is unacceptable. I am going to have my team in Dubai email you as soon as the office opens. And we are going to put something together so that this isn't an issue anymore. At 1 o'clock in the morning, this is what happens sometimes if you're in the right place at the right time in Clubhouse. So since then, we have worked diligently. Alexa has been on the news, and I've been trying to get everyone together for this room, for this. And we had an amazing meeting this afternoon with Shafat, and we learned what is happening and what we're going to be able to do to rectify. We are starting an NGO, a social impact company, to be able to rectify the access and affordability of this medical grade formula, that without this, these zebras some of them may die. Some of them may have irreversible brain damage. This is unacceptable and unfathomable. Right now, what we are asking each and every one of you in this room to do is to click on the 10K card. That I'm still mind blown that you were able to do so fast. And go to it and take action. You can click on the link and it will pre-populate a letter to your senator and to your representative. This bill, the Medical Nutrition Equity Act, has failed for 12 years. 12 years. They have not, because there hasn't been a large enough herd of zebras. So we're asking you to join the herd and make it known to Congress that this is disgusting, that there is no mandate for insurance coverage. We are asking you to tweet about it. We are asking you to join us in the herd so that we can be heard finally. And Shafat heard us. And we are going to be building something beautiful. We are going to be launching something amazing so that this is something that never, ever happens again. But we need to let Congress know that we're sick of their stagnant. They're sick of their stalling and not understanding the impact this is making on American children and Americans all across this country that need this for their entire lives. And having to choose between divorce and bankruptcy or irreversible brain damage to your child is not something any parent should have to juggle, especially when they do have high quality insurance and they aren't required to cover something that keeps your children healthy and alive. So our plea, our ask is just spread awareness and to follow us in the coming weeks as we launch this amazing organization to prevent this from ever happening again. Follow us, stay tuned, keep spreading the awareness because there's not anything else we can do right now. Oh, sorry.
No, we don't have any sorries in here. We don't allow that. There's no sorries in here. It ain't happening. Go ahead.
I'd like to say something, sure, if I may.
Yes.
Ori, I'm glad you're here. One sec, Ori. Let David go and then throw it over to Ori. Thanks for coming in, Ori.
Yeah, I will do.
Great to see you, buddy.
Thanks, Ori, mate. I'm glad you've come into the room. I was just going to share, guys, as well, because Laura said this is American. I just wanted to reiterate, which I have been doing over this room. It's not just about the United States. This can happen in my country, the United Kingdom. This can affect families in India, wherever you are. This may or could be affecting children because it's a very rare disease. And what I forgot to mention when I was giving my story is my disease was 1 in 30 to 40,000 people can get it, and both parents have to have the strand of this gene. So my kids are carriers, but if they meet a partner, then that partner might not be a carrier, so their kids might not get Wilson's disease. So it's a very rare thing, but it's not just about the United States, it's about all of your countries. So there's a link which we put up there as well, which is where you can click to your senator, which is in the United States. But if you want to reach out and write a letter to your local MP or local council or whoever the authority is in your state or country or whatever it is, you can write them a letter. And then if you don't respond, write them another letter, and just peck their head until they have to turn around and go, do you know what? We need to do something about this, and we can make the change in this room, guys. Don't forget, as I say, the few can actually rally up and they can make a dramatic difference to these kids and families' lives. So I'm going to hand the mic back to the amazing accidental gangster, Ori. So go on, mates, if you want to share.
Thank you. You know, I got to be honest, I don't know anything about baby formula. But what I do know is that my mom has 6 children. My aunts, between us all, must be 50 children who never have baby formula, and we're all okay. So we don't have any of these things that I'm hearing that are possibilities of children getting without baby formula. So I don't understand the science behind it, so I don't proclaim. I just wanted to say that there. But what Laura said about Congress, you ain't going to get Congress to do nothing. Congress only answers to you when it's time for them to be re-elected. And then they're going to feed you garbage so you vote for them again. And we've been doing this consistently since the 80s. And now you've got people that are almost 90 years old there. You people don't read the ballots. We got voting next week throughout the country, I think. I don't know. I know we got here in California. It took me 2 hours to go through my ballot. I wanted to make sure I understood everything that I was reading and what I was going to vote for. I guarantee you nobody else does that. You just go red or blue. And you keep voting the same people in again. You know, if I didn't get my first indictment back in the 70s, I was going to run for U.S. Senator from New York. Unfortunately, that never happened. Last year, I was considering running for Congress against this goofball Adam Schiff. And I had a lot of support of people, and I could have gotten the number of ballots that I needed. But then I said to myself, I'm 77 years old. I'm not going to Washington in the winter time. So I changed my mind.
So it was the weather that did it. All this, and at the end of the day, you would have been changing things if you were just like the snow. We're gonna have to teach you how to ski, Ori. That's what's up. I think we gotta get you a snowboard. maybe we'll recruit you back into this because we're gonna need your reach. Ori, what you missed earlier is I didn't know anything about this either. I'm just like you. I didn't know dink from dank. I'm gonna go down to whatever, corner store or to Walmart or somewhere and get baby formula. That's what I had to do. That's all I've ever known. We're talking medical grade, some stuff's got to go through the FDA here, Ori. We're talking some stuff that there's 3 guys that make it, so they can control everything. Is it a raw material? Is it a distribution problem? Is it you guys are just jerking us? But what happens, what the downside of these guys jerking around is, whether if it's Congress or whoever the hell is the one doing it, because they're up there with their thumb in their ear, trying to be, this is the ladies are here tonight. But Ori, you know what that reality is. So you know what happened, Ori? This is just serendipitous. Another guy opens the mic and says, "How can I help?" And then now we're going to buy the damn land, build the factory, make the formula. Ain't nobody can stop us.
If somebody's got the money, then that's what they should do.
That's what we got lined up right here, Ori. And we're overdue for a phone call. I'm gonna fill you in on the whole ball of wax on a call that's overdue that I owe you. So I'm gonna hit you in the back channel and really get you up to real speed on the details on this, because your voice is gonna be needed. We're gonna need your help.
I'm looking forward to that call. I hear
serious business here. Serious business.
We're going to go into a recession. We're going to go into a recession. We're in a recession, folks. We're going to go into a depression.
Well, we're up against it right now. So we're going to move this so we don't get off on the side, because I do that too easy. My little neurodiversity. I'll be talking about Web3 here in a hot second if I don't pay attention, Ori. So I just want to thank you for being here, and I want to move to, I think, Rainbow. It's my first time meeting you, but I understand that our man, if you're there, flash your mic. I'd love to go over to you. I think David invited you in, and I'd just like to give you a chance to introduce yourself, since we're new to the stage together, and say hello and thoughts on where we're at tonight.
Namaste. And Kimraha. Kimraha is Scottish. I'm from Glasgow, in Scotland. And what you're achieving, I believe, is amazingly amazing. It only takes one match to ignite the box. And I think you guys are creating a bonfire tonight. And it's all about people standing together and coming up with a solution. And what Shazad had said, magical to me, got me thinking, and that doesn't happen often. Excuse me, when he spoke about women giving their own breast milk. And it just, We all have an ability. And as Wayne Dyer once said, when we change the way we look at something, the thing that we look at changes. So, I mean, one thing that I would like to contribute tonight, I offer a service, self-discovery flow. I don't want to go into other detail. It's like £500 a head. And if you choose to do a raffle, I'll happily, gratefully offer that into the raffle. And I would also like to offer it to Alexis and her husband if they wish. I can back channel them or whatever later on. I was involved in a big club when I first came into Clubhouse, and we had a really poor soul over in Canada, and he had a really bad accident, and we decided to do a raffle, and it was amazing because it's a great way to promote what you're doing. It's also a great way for those that can't afford to give a donation to give a service, you see. And it just grew and grew and grew. And I believe, from what you are talking about, you are all passionate. And that's all it needs. And yes, David's invited me into the room, and I met him. I was a victim of a stabbing years and years ago. And I received a full body blood transfusion. And I don't see any difference between that and a child's need to feed. So, you're just blown out of the park, basically. And anything I can do to help, I'll humbly help in any way I can. It's brilliant. Thanks a lot for giving me the chance to talk and be part of something worthwhile for a change. Because everybody in this room, I go around the Clubhouse platform and multiple other platforms day to day, and you hear people say, oh yeah, I love trees, I love nature, I want to do everything for my fellow man. Well, here's your chance. Just, do something. Don't just sit and listen. You've got the power, and individually it's nothing, but collectively it's everything. And as I say, it's magically magical to me, and thank you very much.
I'm just happy you're here. There's just an example. My brain is just going, well, David and I were in a business room in the middle of the room, our friend Jay Handler's room that I enjoy very much. And the conversation was nothing to do with any of this. And then he's here, you're here. Just how it goes. You got to stand up and open your microphone. Anybody, everybody, Augustus, you're sticking out to me, Augustus. Are you there? You got the mic, Augustus? Anybody watch Augustus, Mike? If he comes back, I want to hear what's in his head, because I just want to. I just need to see what he's up to. Flash your mic if you're on the stage and you'd like to pour into this conversation. Folks, I just want to appreciate those that came because I asked you to. People show up in communities, and I've crossed a number of different paths that, I like to say I'm adjacent, right? That I'm not a musician or an actor. I'm a third chair trumpet player and an MC since high school. But Sandy, I see you flash, and Sandy the cat, my favorite cat in Clubhouse. What are you thinking here? How long? What's in your thought process? We had a conversation earlier today, and I thank you for coming by, and I'd love to hear what your thoughts are.
Well, as a mother of a son who was having severe health issues as a child, from the time he was born to the time he was about 5, I can relate on some level with what everybody's going through. And I think what everybody here is doing is amazing to pull together and really make a difference. Because after all, that's what it's about. It's this Clubhouse at its finest, is when we all pull together and do something that is supposedly undoable, but we somehow pull it off. And Eric, I wanted to thank you. Seriously, you're a pretty amazing guy, and I see you, doing such a great job here, and also, the last few days letting everybody know about this and spreading the word, and the amount of care that you're putting into this is phenomenal. And I really appreciate all that you're doing for all those little kids that will never know otherwise, but you're making a difference in this world as well. So thank you for that. Yes, Sandy the cat. Yeah.
Meow. Sandy's my favorite cat. I didn't do anything. the reality is you stand up and throw a pebble in the pond, and that ripple, this is what it is to me. And it's just touch. I don't know, when Laura said it, what was on her heart, I don't know what's in her that just, I mean, she just, it's almost like the movie where you see, you know, a sword goes right through you. I was like, I just felt, I was like, this is what you, it's just who I am. I don't know. I didn't do anything. It's, you know, it's just what you're supposed to do, the right thing. This is just the right thing. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult. Can I go do what Shafat can do? No, but I can sure as hell stand up and execute. That's sure as hell, like, you're damn right I can show up for that. That's easy. Rachel Weaver's, well, Sandy, you know, I appreciate, you know what, it's community though, because I wouldn't know you if it wasn't for the next person. We could talk for an hour about that, right? This telephone, man. You just got to be clear when you pass the phone. I said, Rachel, I see you down there with your mic open. You awake?
I'm here. Thank you so much.
Rachel, you know why I ask if you're awake? Because you're like the Energizer Bunny. I don't know who swaps your batteries, but it could be whatever hour. When the bell rings, Rachel Weaver is not only on time, she's like, on time is late. Rachel, what's up? Any thoughts tonight?
Hello. I just wanted to come in and support. I'm super grateful to be here today. I love the cause that you guys are supporting, and I am super excited to hear about what's to come. I'm very busy planning the event that's happening here this weekend in Vegas, preparing for Laura to arrive by airplane. So I'm honored to be here, and I'll be listening by the wayside unless you guys need me. Thank you so much for having me, Eric. Super happy to be here.
Wait a minute. Pump the brakes. Get back over here. Where do you think you're trying to do? You can't just sneak out of here without telling us what's going on this weekend, because why? We can still tune in if we can't make it to Vegas, right? You need to tell us why, because we're talking about communities that are, I said adjacent earlier, we're going to be a little more than adjacent with whatever Rachel Weaver is up to. That I know for sure, because I was already in the audience banging my, you know, clapping for wherever she's at. I was like, oh, I already love her. Oh, well, now we got a lot of work to do. Now I'm realizing I thought I worked hard. But tell us about this weekend, because anybody here should be paying attention to what you're doing, because you're doing something that is, you know, is an effort and another whole scary thing. We need a whole another bunch of, you know, I guess an army to go after that. But talk about it. Tell us about the weekend. Please help me out here. I talk too much.
No, Eric, thank you so much for allowing me to share. I appreciate that so much. And I just want to promote that our beautiful lady in white, Laura, is going to be one of our amazing speakers. We are hosting a Level Up event. My partner, Becca, and I, Becca Brazil, we are hosting a Level Up You event live in Vegas. We are bringing together some of the most incredible thought leaders, coaches, mentors, and excuse me, business owners and entrepreneurs to bring to each and every person their best tools and tips to help them level up in any area of their life, whether it be their mindset, their content creation, their business, their vision, their dreams, their goals. Any area that you choose to level up in, we want to be there to pour into you, to support you, and to give you real action plan to be able to implement and truly level up your income so that you can make a greater impact on the world around you. And we are so excited to be benefiting the fight against sex trafficking. We have partnered for this event to support and benefit Slave Free Project, and we cannot say enough about them. We're super humbled and grateful to be able to be connected with them. In fact, we're going to be taking a visit to California to go love on some of the kids that have been rescued, and we're just going to serve a huge mission. And if you cannot attend live in Vegas, we do have a few tickets left, still available for in-person tickets. If you can make it, I highly recommend being here, because it is not going to be like any typical event. That is for sure. You're not going to be sitting in your chairs listening to speakers throughout the whole entire time, although we have some of the most incredible speakers coming to pour into you. Still available. But we truly want this to be an experience for everyone. We want this to be red carpet style. We actually have a red carpet. we are going to be ensuring that we pour in so deeply that every person, whether you are in the audience, you're joining us virtually, or you're a speaker at our event, you feel as though you are the star on the red carpet. This experience was created just for you to shine your light. So we cannot wait to pour into every single person who attends. And from this weekend and moving forward, because if you're part of it this weekend, we have lots ahead of us. And so much, in fact, we're going to be holding accountability groups, engagement groups, Zoom calls after the event. We are going to do everything we can to ensure that the only way you won't see success in leveling up your life in the year of 2022 is if you choose not to. So thank you for allowing me to share, Eric. Love you all so much. We also have some discount codes available. Laura, I'll let you go ahead and speak. I saw you on mute. Sorry.
Rachel, you're crazy. Allow you to speak. That's like, I'm holding the door open here. Why you gotta embarrass me all the time, Rachel? It's not right. You have to let that message out. You know that message has got to get out there, and that's what you champion. She's one of the tribe, that one.
Eric.
She's the one who sets that bar, because I'm like, damn, I got to get up earlier because these girls are blowing my doors off. Laura, you're up.
Yeah, so I am a speaker at the Level Up event this weekend in Vegas. If you are going to participate in it, you can use a coupon with my name, just write Laura, and you will get a discount on your ticket to the event. One of the things that's amazing about Clubhouse, not only are we coming together for this specific cause regarding the formula access and affordability to medical nutrition for those that require it and don't have the coverage. We've also been able to cross-collaborate across so many different individuals, 10K cards, Shafat, and everything that they're doing to help support and create this amazing organization. With Rachel and Becca, we're going to be continuing collaborations, not just for this event that she's doing, and also for this effort we're doing right now. She's just crazy busy in Vegas setting everything up, and I can't wait to get there. There's going to be a continued effort. This isn't just a one-day stop. This is a continued conversation. This is continued awareness. This is not stopping until it is rectified. There are so many individuals that have come through this room, that are in this room, and I am so thankful for every single one of you. I'm thankful for every single one of you that have taken some action today, that have clicked on the link, shared the links, did the pre-populated letters to your senators and representatives, that did the pre-populated tweets. I'm horrible at social media. This is why I need Becca and Rachel. To get your, to tweet out to your representatives and senators, to participate and follow along with us as every stage of this launch comes out, so that you can be involved in making real impact in real children's lives, not just here in America, but all across the world, so that we don't have to worry about those that require medical grade food to have food insecurity due to unfathomable, exorbitant costs. So again, I want to thank everyone that came to the room, that heard about this story, that I messaged, that Eric messaged, that Danielle messaged, that Shafat reached out to, that David reached out to, that heard us speak in the last few days and read the messages and the emails that we sent and resonated with this and felt a calling to show up. You guys mean so much to me. And I am so appreciative of the effort that every single person has put into this, because as close to my heart as this lands, right, with Alexa being one of my best friends that I've known for over a decade, with one of the disorders named being a disorder that my daughter had as an infant, to everyone else that I know that has suffered through Crohn's and other metabolic and digestive disorders. This is for them. This is to help more people not live in pain, in face detrimental health issues because of lack of access. So to land the plane, because it is after 7:30 and I have 2 children upstairs that have decided to color on the walls and be absolutely chaos because I am a mother, I am a mompreneur. Alexa is, she knows exactly how bad my child just drew on the walls because I sent her pictures. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Thank you. Alexa, I would love to hear your thoughts, not about my child's artwork that is not going to up for auction. How are you feeling?
I'm still blown away, Laura. I still cannot wrap my head around this. I think I was just talking to my husband and I was like, these people care about, the kids and my family. And I've tried my best to, be an open book through this whole situation and literally, tell our side of the story. And, you guys have welcomed me with open arms. I cannot believe how many people took nights off from their everyday thing that they were supposed to be doing and are here listening to my story and listening to these amazing people talk and share their stories and, do all this stuff for the kids. You guys are all absolutely amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. I mean, everyone, from the bottom of my heart. I mean, there is not enough things in the world that I could do to, say thank you or show my appreciation, because you guys are absolutely amazing. I'm still just blown away by it all. I've known Laura over a decade, and I got to tell you, a decade ago when we were in college, this is not where I thought Laura would be.
Yeah.
Where I thought. So I can't believe how amazing of a woman you are, Laura. And Mike, I love you so much, and everybody else, thank you so much for being here and for listening and for participating and for telling your stories and for reaching out and for looking for this stuff and everything. Oh my gosh, it takes a village, it takes a herd, it takes everyone. So I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart.
Yes, in college, neither one of us would have thought this is where we would be this many years later. We'll just leave it at that. No. And I love you. Is there anyone else and Mary Kim, I saw you flash. I didn't know if you were clapping or wanted to pour in, but we are getting ready to close the room. So Mary Kim, did you wanted to pour in?
Yes, I'll take the opportunity, Laura. I came in late, but not late. My spirit's been moved, Laura. Meeting you on this app, you're just an incredible human being. And this is what we're supposed to do on this earth as humans, as people, as moms, is to come together to solve these issues that should not be. And this speaks to my heart, not only because I'm a mom, I'm a human, but it's just, this stuff just eats at my soul. And I also have a child with Down syndrome, and it's just, it's what I saw when I came into this room, and I've heard the conversation, and I know a little about Shafat and some of you other people that's on here that's pulling this together. This is what it's about. And it's I'm just moved. And Laura, I was in the room in Breakfast with Champions when you came in at the last minute and shared it, and you just haven't stopped since. You are so inspiring. And I'm just honored and just to be in your presence, but also walk hands with you as part of the Mom Link chapter president. Do I even fit in this realm with you? But I'm just moved, and I'm gonna do whatever I can on my end in whatever way to help support, contact people that I may know, whatever I can do. This should not be, but the power of this space, the power of these people, just enough is enough. And I'm just so proud of everyone and you, and yeah, thank you. It's really minuscule about how I really feel. Thank you.
I'm going to be giving you a massive hug, spin around in Atlanta. Don't you worry about that. I love you. I love all of you.
I love you too, girl.
Eric, thank you for dealing with me being cranky at all hours of the night.
Please.
I am trained in dealing with your type of mindset because I'm married to one. So thank you for bearing with me.
He's going to catch the beat, and that's why I was trying to stir you up. I'll gas you up so Mike gets his butt kicked in that.
Hey, thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. Good problem.
But thank you for dealing with my crankiness. Thank you for understanding exactly how this comes from my heart. Thank you for everyone that has poured into this and donated their time, their effort, their energy, and just know that we're going strong, and it's because of all of you and the support you guys are showing. Thank you.
Indeed. What's your idea here? Anybody else want to pour in here before we wrap her up? We're pushing 7:45, and folks want to get somebody did. I hope everybody ate. I'm starving. I got to get some food. What are you thinking, Laura? How do you want to put a bow on this?
Well, Michael's wrestling children above me. I'm in the basement. I can hear the chaos happening, and it's time for us to start wrapping up as well. I need food. I need food.
Go ahead and wrap it up and then close down the room, and you guys can start leaving as your own leisure.
Yeah. So what I want.
Oh, you got a couple of folks down below. I see. Nick. Nuna, you just came on stage. Please pour in.
I did. Thank you, Michael. Hi, Laura. Hi, everyone. I just got into the room maybe 10 minutes ago. For those of us latecomers, could you recap and give us a wish list of the action you would like us to take moving on? That's it. That's my wish for today.
Well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much for waking me up. And I'm nodding out. And if a good moderator were here on the stage, they would have said that, just like you just did. So I just want to give you a hug, a virtual hug for that. And I hope I see you someday where we're doing something really cool, and I give you a real hug.
All right.
How about you do that, Laura?
Okay. So here's what's going on. You've heard of the formula shortage that's going on, I'm sure. But here's what it has caused: a massive ripple effect. So there is a community across the world and here in America that suffer from rare disorders and diseases. And if you are here in America, there's a couple very, very easy action steps that you can take right now when you click that 10K card. But the nuts and bolts of this thing is that my dear friend Alexa, who's on stage right now, her boys, 2 of her 3 boys, have a metabolic disorder where they have to be on this specific formula for the rest of their lives. If they're not on that formula, there's chaos happening above me. I hope you can't hear it. If they're not on that formula, they can suffer irreversible brain damage. If they have more than 2 grams of protein in a day, they will start poisoning themselves. If they don't eat enough of their medical food, which takes up 90% of their caloric intake, their body goes into starvation mode and starts creating that protein itself and the specific amino acid that they are not able to break down, and poisoning themselves in their brain and causing irreversible brain damage. On the other side of it is that there is no federal mandate requiring any insurance company to cover this medically required food. The zebras of the world are those with rare disorders and diseases. There is a subpopulation of the rare disorder community with digestive and metabolic diseases that require medical grade formula and food to sustain a relatively normal, healthy lifestyle. And for toddlers, it's about $5,000 a month for that formula out of pocket. For an adult, that's $25,000 a month out of pocket. There's no requirement or mandate to say that they have to cover it. In most cases, after age 1, they do not cover it. So what can you do? if you are in the United States, you can click on that 10K card. You can write a pre-populated letter to your senator and representative demanding that they pass it. It is being reintroduced to Congress this week. It has failed for 12 years because this subpopulation of zebras herd isn't a large enough herd. So we are gathering all of us to be a larger voice. You can also tweet at them. I think that's the right vernacular. And stay tuned and follow along with us because we are launching a social impact organization where we are going to solve the access and affordability because clearly it's not a priority to Congress. And with help of Shafat and many others, we are going to be doing a series of fundraising and auctions and gives for donations. We're not doing that now. We're doing that launch in a couple weeks, but just stay tuned. But right now, what you can do is simply spread awareness. On that 10K cards, there's also the links to all the media that she has been featured in. Alexa is gracefully the face of this in bringing awareness to the subpopulation that require medical nutrition. So all I'm asking is you to click the card, the link at top, and explore it and do whatever action calls to you. I'm not asking for your money. I'm asking for awareness.
Thank you, Laura. And just to offer, you know, with Clubhouse, I've learned we enter the rooms where we're supposed to be. And sorry, excuse me. And yesterday I was having a conversation with a colleague that I had worked with and done business with about 5 years ago. And in catching up with her and referring some business to what she used to do, I found out she no longer does that. And now she's following her passion as a photographer. And she has launched a magazine featuring children that traditional magazines pass over. And she's an editorial photographer. She's on her 6th issue. And I would love to connect Alexa with Marie LaFranc, who isn't active, but she does have a Clubhouse account. I tried to invite her to the room, but I would love to be a conduit in getting publicity. And the magazine is geared for models and actors, mostly in the Los Angeles area, but it's in no way is it limited to Los Angeles. So I would love to invite you to submit an article and help her magazine grow, but also bring attention in the entertainment industry to such a dire and essential and love-filled mission. So I would love to support any way I can.
Yes, let's definitely talk because I have other contacts in the LA area that I am reaching out to and building campaign for the entertainment and athletic industry starting in the Los Angeles area. So yes, everything happens for a reason on Clubhouse, guys. This all started with a 1 a.m. social room on Clubhouse. So yes, back channel me, find me on Instagram, probably be the easiest place so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle. But if you feel called, if you have connections, if you know people that can spread more awareness, if you are capable of doing that and you have access to things and resources and you feel called and this resonates with you, please reach out to us so we can coordinate an effort that makes sense and is aligned with everything that we are doing for this cause. Thank you so much for that, Shara. I have goosebumps because it's
Laura,
just
I just
perfect.
want to ask, could you, Nuna, could you please pronounce your name so I don't make an ass out of myself, please? Can you pronounce your first name for me? Nuna, is it Nune?
Sorry, I was on Instagram and Laura's account. It's Nune, and my mom and dad pronounce it differently.
Yeah.
So I am so open to pronunciations, but I grew up as Nuna.
Nuna.
But my college best friend is Korean, and Nuna means something very specific.
Uh-oh.
So I had to, it's just what a younger brother calls his older sister.
So.
Oh, I see. Okay, I thought, my brain went somewhere wrong. I'm sorry.
The laugh kind of gave a.
I thought maybe it's like a big toe. That's what I was
Exactly.
Big toe.
Exactly. So, so I reverted to Nune, which is the Armenian pronoun. Just Nune is the Armenian pronunciation. Yes.
All right, so I didn't make a total ass of myself.
No, it's very phonetic.
I just was going to try to, because soon everybody says back channel and DMs and stuff. I'm always afraid when we're doing serious stuff. If anybody needs anything for anything, my email is in my bio. Scroll to the bottom of my bio and you'll see I'm getting my Instagram that got stolen. I'm going to get that son of a bitch back. But
my email is also directly on my Instagram.
Email's in there. So, email, what we want to do is we want to get to email and get out of the DMs because it's, stuff that we need to keep. So, yeah, and since you're already faster than me, Nune, I'm glad to meet you. Thanks for not letting me embarrass myself. And for you to step up here at the last minute, open your mic is exactly what we need. Action takers. I don't care if she says close the room. If you got something to say, open that mic. We're gonna wrap it right now, I think. But if anybody that's left that you want to say something, Melanie's been here. Not everybody's been here supporting. I don't know, just big love because we got a lot more of these to do, and it's going to get a lot louder and a lot more easy to help, and everything's going to get good. Click the link, grab that so you can look at it later. Melanie, you want to help us wrap this up?
Oh, I would love to add my help in any way. I'd love to know more. I'll connect offline to see other areas you might need help with. I know a lot of people connect to the transportation industry, so if there was a way to transport these goods to the location where they're needed, maybe reach out to me on that one. I'll try to connect to you in the back channel as well, or your email as well. I'm Melanie. Thanks for letting me share. Thank you for all you're doing. Blessings, love, and all to you here on the stage from supporting this effort and wholeheartedly.
Thank you, Melanie.
We'll talk. Hanging out all the way to the end, ride or die, right there. Thank you, Melanie. Over to you, Laura. Let's wrap her up. Land this thing, baby.
Hi. Hi.
Oh, hi. Hang on one second.
Steve, you're here. I didn't know you were there.
Oh, Steve, hang on 1 second, please. 1 second. I'll come to you. Melanie, we will talk in Vegas and in Atlanta. The details of it all, because I'm flying out first thing tomorrow morning. I'll see you there and we can talk all of that stuff out tomorrow. And also my email is on my Instagram. So if you go to Instagram, you guys, you can just go contact and email me directly there if you have things you want to share and ideas. Stiva, go ahead.
Yes, hi. Thank you for having me on the stage. I moderate the Pitch Fix Room at 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. I've been working on your pitch for Congress, so if you guys would like to hear it, I can do it tomorrow in the Pitch Fix Room. Thank you.
Now that is going to be fantastic. Absolutely. I will chase you down. I've got just to share with the room as well as a final thought before Laura closes down. Steve, you are a blessing. We need every last talent that we can find. It's going to take more than one village to do what we're doing. The sustainable, what the hell is the room? Help me out, Laura. My brain is fried. Sustainable leadership.
There we go.
Crying out loud. Will Lamb's room has been running since the beginning of time. And I have recently, for some, Laura, I really don't understand, but it's so fitting the way that this is starting to play out. I got to tell you more offline, let you close the room. But I will be putting in some hours sustainable leadership room because there's more of the people we need there, and I'll hold some space, and I'm sort of pushing it back so that I get an hour to 2 hours to actually come in and have a conversation, not just about in the topic I can't control, but we've had some great conversations. I've met some, there's Shafats and there's people of all different profession and PhDs, 3 deep and all kinds of stuff. So if you see me in sustainable leadership, you go, man, that's boring. It's all the academics in there that are, reading from, some ancient text or something. Come in and hang out and bullshit with me because we're going to wake these guys up. They're liking it. We're not just jerking around. We're having real conversations. We're pushing on real-time topics. And Laura, you know what's going to happen? We're going to solve one thing, and there's going to be another one and another one. You said it one time tonight, but if everybody didn't catch on to what just happened, Shafat just said, I can push some buttons and we can just create this whole thing that'll just take care of these problems. That set of Legos we're about to put together, Laura, is going to be solving more than one of these problems.
And Eric, I wanted to make that point one more time before we actually close down the room. That's something that Laura and I have thought about since the beginning, even before this started. This is just the first thing that came, the closest alligator to the canoe. But like Bruno Mars said, right? If you don't believe me, just watch. Like, we're gonna do big things. It's starting with this. And this is going to go on for years and years and years. And we're going to solve, with our NGO that we're creating, we're going to solve a lot of problems for families across the world. Just watch us and see.
Watch me work, baby. Watch me work.
Thank you, guys.
Me, but me is going to be we. Laura,
Thank you guys so much. We are here. MomLink replays are on. So if you are here at the end of this and you are missing out on anything, you're like, what on earth are they talking about? The replays will be available. Please make sure to check it out. We had some amazing contributions, amazing announcements that were announced in the first hour and change. So please be sure to listen to the replays. Keep an eye out. I normally host my rooms every Monday at 3 p.m. in the MomLink, and there's so much to come. Just follow along, and you, just like my husband just said, just watch. But don't just watch. Take action with us. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much to the MomLink. Thank you so much to everyone that is supporting us. Have a blessed evening. And those of you that are heading to Vegas, I will see you tomorrow. And in Atlanta next week.
Good night, everybody.
Closing the room in 5.
Stay tuned.
4.
Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you. You're welcome. 2.
Thank you.
5.
1.
4.
I already started counting.
Bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.